NOBODIES.
Do you ever go in a hot tub and you put your butthole right on one of the like water?
It didn't last long. Don't be eating the cats, because then you're going to be getting the meow-wa-wana. We know you don't want that. You should just walk over there and introduce yourself. Classic, right?
That's classic.
That's not my style. All right, buddy.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of things I like about being a guy. Like, mostly because we're better.
That's a given.
You said the main way to be successful
Is do your ideas.
do your idea.
Nice, dude.
Hey, salute.
Salute.
Yeah!
Fuck.
It's been a while.
I'm already off to a good start.
Mm-hmm. Dude, we were saying earlier, two years ago was the last time.
Almost exactly 2 years ago.
Yeah, because it was August 2022.
It feels so much longer ago.
Thanks for these glasses, by the way. These are sick. Do you guys like them?
Come on, look at these.
I know, dude. Mine, it does. You are correct. These feel like I'm kind of in this like movie where I'm like remembering things from my past.
It's like those scenes in Vanilla Sky where he's in jail or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'd be interesting. Like, it's gonna be funny after this to see how cold your worldview was during our conversation versus how warm and nice mine might have been.
What if my
We could trade halfway
conversation
through.
is cold? Oh yeah, that's true.
Could.
Yeah, because those make you feel like super sunny.
No, fuck with you if you popped a lens out and
Did one and the other?
Oh, headache.
My buddy Paul gave me a pair of glasses that were yellow like that, but they were aviator frames, and I like to wear them all the time, even when it's bright out, because it's just like everything felt very sunny. But I looked like a douche, but I don't mind looking like a douche, so I was kind of like, yeah.
Sometimes I want to lean into the douche. It's fun.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Dude, I think you're the least douchey person I know.
Sometimes I think that I have friends that think I'm a douchebag, though. I get that vibe that
you are the douchey ones of like some of the friends that you hang out
because
with.
I'm like the player compared to them.
Yeah. Yeah,
Even though I'm not.
When I was playing music, I felt that. What?
It just reminds me of something I have to tell you. But you were saying.
Oh no, I was just making conversation.
There's this dude that knows me. And said, dude, if you're watching this, I love you. You're a great guy. But like, I found out through the grapevine that he's like telling people behind my back. He's like, he like walked up to my brother one night while I was playing, and he's like, I wonder what would happen to Joe if he wasn't in the spotlight for 2 days. I'm like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
And Sam's like, well, he's been doing that for 20 years now, and it would probably feel weird, but I don't feel like I'd be like, well, I'd probably just go camping.
Were you? Yeah, but you weren't always in this. I mean,
no,
because you weren't playing. Like you played music, but you didn't play music for a living.
Yeah.
So you were like your band would play once every couple weeks.
Yeah, like so it's been like I'm used to it, but like it's just a weird thing for somebody to fucking say.
Yeah.
So he probably thinks that I'm.
I went up to Sam actually after, and I said, I wonder what Joe would be like if he wasn't so hot every goddamn day. And he was like, we'll never know.
He's always been used to it.
We'll never know.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
I don't even know. You know that. Like,
have you ever, did you and your brothers have like a lot of tension with like who was getting the most spotlight from, say, girls growing up, or popularity or looks or anything? Do you know what I'm saying?
There was never any tension, but there was an awareness that Sam always got the pretty girls.
Oh yeah, I bet.
Not even the pretty girls. He just got the girls. I was too busy taking apart radios.
The girls, and you didn't get anything.
I liked them, but it wasn't my main interest. I guess it was in my head, but I don't know. Yeah, you know that Kaleo song, "All the Pretty Girls," like, and his name is Samuel, so I feel like I relate to that.
Yeah.
No. It's not all the way true because they say that we look like twins. So
I don't think you guys look like twins, but you do look alike. Yeah.
We sound the same.
You mean singing or
When we speak?
Speak.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys have similar voices. When I was growing up, I definitely didn't get any girls. And I guess I never really thought about it because my brother was 6 years older than me, but he definitely got the girls.
How much older? 6?
6.
Okay.
But I always like looked up to, I'm like, oh, my brother's cool. Well, I was like, dude, that guy is cool. What do you like? And so I was like, man, when I get older, I hope I'm like him. When I got older, I wasn't like, I still wasn't cool. So that sucked. But I think after a while, when you don't get like any attention from the opposite sex for so long, it just kind of like becomes, you're like, oh yeah, I guess I don't get girls.
The norm.
Yeah. But then when I like
that becomes the coolness is they hate them.
Yeah, then I would like just hated them. I hated guys that got girls, and I also hated like pretty girls. So
he's a
like,
heartbreaker.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, this girl, she just thinks she's all that. Even though I'm like secretly, I'm like, fuck, I wish I could date her.
Yeah, it's easier just to hate them.
But, and then you realize, oh, why do I hate them so much? And you're like, oh, just because they have the thing that I want.
Yes. Yep. Jealousy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Big time.
That's almost always the times that I feel like I'm pissed or hate on somebody is because I'm jealous of something they have.
Yeah. I feel like there's like 2 kinds of people though. There's people that get jealous and then there's people that get inspired.
That is true, huh?
That's at least in my experience. That's how I feel about it. Like, I would watch a guitar video before I knew how to play guitar and be like, oh, fuck, that's possible. So I was more I feel like I would like, I'm more inspired maybe. But like, other dudes, some of my friends would be like, well, fuck, I quit.
Yeah.
Or I guess, does that make sense?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I don't know.
I wonder did you ever have when you were playing like music with bands? And hi, Russell. What's up, Gene?
What's up, baby? Did you hear him hiss at me earlier?
Oh, yeah.
I was scratching his butt.
Yeah, he doesn't like that. He doesn't like the butt scratch.
Muchacha gets a little angry when I do that as well.
I like the butt scratch.
I haven't had my ass scratched in quite some time.
You gotta get a butt scratcher. Butt scratcher!
Are we coming up with another invention?
Maybe. Dude, we've come up with some good ones.
Like a shower butt scratcher specifically for the butt cheeks? Like hand pads?
What if you just had like an attachment that you put on the shower wall? So it's just like right at your butt. So
like,
you just
it spun. So it scrubs your cheeks and you're just like,
ooh. Yeah, it's just like,
yeah,
dude. It sprays water out too.
Yeah, dude. Like it connects to the hotline so it's warm.
Do you ever go in a hot tub and you put your butthole right on one of the like water?
It didn't last long. Dude, jets are every juvenile interest. Like,
you're like, what is this feeling?
I wonder what that would feel like.
I was too poor growing up. We didn't have hot tubs. Did you guys have that hot tub growing up?
There's the jets and then there's the suction ones too. So that's a whole nother problem for empty
or
hot tubs.
Do you think it's a problem or maybe it's
depends on the location, the time. Yeah, we had the hot tub at the Ponder House.
Yeah, but like, did you had it growing up?
Yes, actually. Yeah, we brought that from the new Plymouth house over and like cut out the deck and replaced the old hot tub with like the nicer, bigger one. And apparently it has a leak now. I haven't lived there in like 4 years.
Yeah.
And Sam, the other night, like we're doing some housework and pardon me, he goes, hey Joe, you're going to hate me for this, but I think I'm going to sell the hot tub. Dude, and I did hate him for it. I leaned in. I'm like, dude, here's the thing. When you and Jen have your little dude, I guarantee you're not going to live here much longer. Like, I can tell she wants to move. Do me a solid and do not sell the hot tub, please. Yeah. You could change everything about the house, but don't sell the hot tub.
Where
the memories.
Where would they want to move? Or are they just
something with more room, probably. I guess just a little bit more space. For me, that does
have a lot of memories in that house, huh?
every memory.
Yeah.
It's weird. Like Sam and I, like our first recording happened in the basement bathroom with our, what is it, Talk Boy from Home Alone, like the little recorders. And we made a nature soundtrack.
No way.
Yeah, we recorded like running water in the bathroom. And then we like recorded the MGM lion like roaring. It was the silliest. But we had like this 10-minute, we were like, nature.
How old are you?
And the water came in. We were like 7.
You just turn on the bath.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, that's how you got so good at recording music. You just started young.
Started so young. Dude, actually, yeah, it's weird. I've been interested in recording since I've been 13.
You got really good. Like, I remember going to that house.
And the gears made it easier.
The gears?
The quality of gears made it easier.
Oh, yeah. Well, you showed me some acoustic song one time at that house. And you're like, dude, you got to check this out. Because you had that little studio down in the basement.
Yeah.
And you're like, sit right here. We like smoke some weed and then sit there. It was just like this acoustic track. And it was like both speakers. And I was like, whoa. But
the fidelity.
So clean. It was so like very, very professional.
I remember that moment. Yeah. I forgot about that. Weird. So hard to know what's right with clean. Like these days, I feel like I go into the master EQ and I go to the high frequency and I just go.
Yeah.
Because if you listen to like most music, it's like crispy, but it's not so bright that it hurts your ears after a while. And my mixes like for so long like hurt my ears after a while and I couldn't figure out why. I think it might be the high frequencies. But
yeah.
Have I told you about the VXX headphones I got? The Slate Digital ones?
You told me that
dude?
They were coming, but you... So wait, so to explain the headphones again?
Dude, this isn't even a pitch, but like it sounds like it could be. But like,
but Steven Slater.
All right, Steven Slate, if you are listening, actually, I won your modeling microphone, and that's what I did. I'm working on vocals with for the new stuff. So yeah, if you're listening, I love it. No, so the headphones came in, and they recommend that you spend at least an hour listening to like mixes that you're familiar with, so you can like calibrate your ears. And there's like instructions like don't jump from room to room, because what they do is like model the sonic qualities of a room. And so like you get to mix your room in like $100,000 mastering room through like modeled monitors and spatial technology that basically makes it feel like you're sitting in that room.
Yeah.
So you get to hear everything in its most honest way. Forgot why I'm telling you about this.
Well, I don't know, but those headphones sound dope. Oh, you
they're
just asked me.
Sick.
So you tried them?
Yes.
And they're sick.
They are sick. Something brought that up. We were saying like sonic quality or, I've been at it for a long time.
Yeah.
These things are like blowing my mind. I listened to Forever Young.
Forever Young.
Forever Young. And I cried, dude. I was like, God damn. Because you could hear things I've never really heard. I was like, damn, this is big. Listen to like some old country and then some like Bon Iver and try to like listen to different stuff. Some early Coldplay.
And what all rooms can you sample /
You can pay for more, but it comes stock with like 2 main mastering rooms. I have NGR mastering and dude, honestly, I can't remember the name of the other one off the top of my head.
I actually don't know what NGR is.
But it also, here's my favorite part, and this part blew my mind. So like, and I want you to come over and listen actually sometime.
I would love to. If you like them, I might get them.
They're $209. I'm dropping the price. No, they were $299, and they model every other lead pair of cans in the industry. So I have a pair of Beyerdynamic DT770s, and I've had them for like 14 years. And I've been doing my mixing in those more than in my HS8s lately because my room is lying to me no matter how much I try to it's still nice to like just listen back like you're listening to music in your house like to see how it feels. And I love them for that. But like I've been mixing through the DT770s, and part of the reason I bought these ones is because they model every lead pair of cans like Sony, AKG, Beyerdynamics. And so I did an A/B and like plugged my Beyerdynamics into the mix, bypassed the VSX, and just listened. through my aerodynamics, and they're like seasoned. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, okay, kind of bright, a little bit thinner than what I would expect. To my surprise.
Right.
Not as enhanced here or there. And then I like as quick as I could like unplug the cord, plug back in the other one, threw on the new cans, modeled the DT770s, and it sounded exactly the fucking same.
That's wild.
Blew my mind. Like it actually, in that moment, I was like, okay, fuck. This is not some fucking scam or something.
Yeah.
They're using like basic EQ technology, I guess. Maybe not basic, but essentially they're using this technology and understanding of.
It is crazy how they would do that, where they could just all with some sort of digital recreation.
I got the best mix I've ever gotten.
Yeah?
In one jab. And the best part about it was I immediately knew what I needed to fix afterwards. I was like, oh, the vocals are too loud. There wasn't like a question of like, why doesn't this feel right? Like the tonal balance was there. It blew my mind. Like,
which one are you?
It took me 45 minutes of like tweaking.
Yeah.
In them. I was like, oh, the bass is like.
Which ones are you like using then? Like, what are you modeling to mix then?
Like what room or like
Are you using one of the rooms that it comes with then, or?
I'm still learning them. They're super new and there's several different approaches. I think they have when you click bypass, it goes into this flat linear model that they basically engage like the most clean, flat, non excuse of a mix possible.
Okay.
So that's what I'll bypass the mastering rooms to kind of check for weird stuff. I'll go into like flat mode on them and honestly, it's like the most subtle things. This is what blows my mind. It's like, I've been like, oh, the bass feels like it needs like more mid-range EQ or something. It'll just be like a little whoop. Or maybe I'll like, there's like the vocals are like harsher than I realized. There's like a or like, so just like duck that high. But like it's crazy. It's like I don't know, like you work with audio and visual and stuff.
Yeah.
It's probably the same.
Dude, I mean, even when I edit photos, there's like subtle changes that make a world of difference. You're like, oh,
like on the spectrum or
like the shadows could be really dark, and all you need, like if you pull them up, all of a sudden you get this detail, or if you just change something about the curve, the photo looks completely different. And you're like, oh, that's where I need it to be.
Think about how that might apply to like the way people view the world around them. Like I'm about to smoke weed and this might offend a lot of people. And I hope it doesn't, but it's a very small perspective shift.
Yeah, I wonder who gets offended by people smoking weed these days.
People who haven't tried.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because it is so, I mean, it has, like that
I used to be worried about it, but I don't care.
Yeah, but it is nice that it has become so socially accepted that, because like half the states have legalized, like there's.
It makes you feel good. It helps you.
It's also very creative.
It's medicinal.
Yeah, it's very, helps a lot of people with anxiety or pain.
Makes music sound so, like it makes me feel the music. I hear it.
Dude, that's one of my favorite things about being stoned. If you get stoned and go to a concert, you can just stand there and just like, oh, the I don't know what that chemical reaction is, but the way that the music waves hit your ears, it's enhanced so much.
I feel like it makes you be present. Even if that's being present with the chaos of your thoughts. And so people say, oh, it's bad. I'm like, no, maybe it's showing you something that's bad inside of you. Just like a mushroom trip or anything that.
Maybe you should think about the thing that you're thinking about.
It's not bad. It's doing what it's built to do, which is to like open you up with psychedelics anyways. I think weed is like one of those things that's meant to kind of like, for me, like I feel like its ultimate purpose is to be like a more present. It helps me hear all the details, or like weird stuff. Like I'll smoke in the morning, and then like after a couple puffs, like I catch myself like noticing beard hairs that are like coming in white. oh, I didn't see you. Like, I'm like, oh, everything's quiet now. I can hear myself breathing. I'm here. I don't know. It's very cool. Like,
do you name the beard hairs?
It's not necessary, but it's super nice. No, but I'm gonna start trying that. Oh yeah, one's called "You Motherfucker." I don't know. I like my whites.
Dude, I've got a lot of whites lately.
Come on, me too.
Yeah.
It's just the way it goes.
White is right.
White is right, and white is the new black. So I'm not losing any color, baby.
Dude, have you ever got any of those white like nose hairs that come from the inside of your nose?
Those disturb the fuck out of me. They look like alive in a different way. They're like thicker.
Yeah.
And like they have intention. Yeah, I hate them.
Also, I'm like,
I do dislike that I produce that.
But when you pull it out, you're like this thick, long, like white hair. You're like, whoa.
I hate it. Dude, I hate that. I don't like that I make it. Like,
dude, have you ever...
Why'd that happen inside of me?
This is something that I don't think is very common, but I've had it happen twice where I've had a nose hair that grew into an ingrown nose hair and it started growing into my nose. And so then like my nose starts bubbling on the other side and I thought it was a zit, like right here.
No.
And I'm like, dude, it wouldn't go away. And then eventually the hair pops through my nose.
Ow.
And I was like, what the fuck is that? And so I grab tweezers and I pull it and it yanks from the inside. I was like, ah. And it pulls through my nose. It's the nose hair that grew the whole way through.
That's horrifying.
And I've had it happen twice now.
Like hair piercings?
Yeah. I think the first hair created
you got
the
some
path.
ambitious whiskers,
dude. I know. That's how I know I'm going to get famous.
A fucking bluegrass band or something.
Ambitious whiskers. Dude, that is good, huh?
That's gold.
I bet they would be a good band.
The lead singer sounds prudent.
Dude, I feel like Russell would start a band called Ambitious Whiskers.
Yeah, like catcore, kittycore.
Kittycore.
You know when you have to name like
meow. They're smoking meowana.
Meowana. That's why these cats are losing their mind. Don't be eating the cats, because then you're gonna be getting the meowana.
Yeah, dude.
We know you don't want that.
Dude, those people that eat cats are pretty catcore.
Catcore to the T, man. It's a nice protein supplement.
Dude, what if cats actually tasted really good?
I will never know. Maybe. I hope I haven't accidentally consumed one.
I think I did at a couple Chinese restaurants, but I'm not sure.
My friend just ate horse. My buddy Joe was in Japan. No. He's probably done that. No. He ate horse meat.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah.
He said it hurt him deeply.
That would.
It hurt him deep. He's like, I didn't like it when I found out. He's
like, I didn't like that I liked it.
I didn't like that I got seconds. Giddy up.
Dude, what if they like, you know how the certain fillets of beef that are really, really high end, they just give you like little slivers, like the Wagyu in Japan or something,
yeah.
Like really, really nice cuts of beef. What if they have just like really nice cuts of horse and they put it on like one of those horseshoes? Like, I'm sad. On a plate. Yeah, it's just like just tiny little bits. So like, and for the appetizer, whores.
Horse who? No, horseshoe. That's dumb.
Yeah, I think I would feel uncomfortable eating a horse, even though it is crazy because it is like a cultural thing where we don't do it, but they do it. And we eat stuff that they would consider a pet.
When you allow your thoughts to go places they're not conditioned to go to,
right?
It's fucked. Like I was telling the other day, like just yesterday actually, hey, I have been experiencing this thing where when I eat meat, my brain is like making it harder on me. And it's like you're eating something dead. And it will like repeat it. It's like that thing's dead. And then if I eat like chicken, it's like that was a bird. You're eating a flying bird. Right? Chickens
do chickens fly?
Well, they kind of like fly off and then they land.
Yeah.
No.
That one didn't fly that far.
Yeah, no. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's fucked. But
I guess it's better than
I
eating
do
alive.
like some protein, and we are top of the food chain. I get it, but
Have you ever thought about this?
it's weird that there's death involved. I guess.
I mean, I guess it's better than eating it alive.
Maybe I'm just transitioning into a pescatarian or something.
Well, that is, I've always found it a bit fascinating about like different people's rules of thumb for what they eat. For example, my sister will eat fish, but she won't eat meat. But she'll or like cows and chickens, but she'll say she's like, I don't eat meat. I'm like, so you don't think fish or meat? She's like, well, yeah, it's just easier to say. But for some reason, she has like a moral feeling about eating meat because of factory farming, which is true. You know, factory farming sucks.
That's true. That's actually a really good point.
Fish also are factory farmed. A lot of the fish she eats.
Yeah.
So like they still live in shitty situations too. So like it's weird how humans will choose one and be like, oh, this is fine, but this isn't. And then I thought about if you've ever done like a bunch of mushrooms and you realize the plants are alive, and then there's a lot of evidence for plant intelligence and like living, breathing, like plants, and they're connected and they're smart. You know, like
does it hurt the lettuce?
Yeah, it's like so you're not okay with eating a cow who is alive, but you are okay with eating that fucking iceberg. That iceberg could have really done some good if you let it live.
Oh yeah.
You just chopped it right down.
Here it is, just melting down your little belly.
Yeah.
For no
or
reason.
like you know, a lot of people.
That's the only kind of ice I actually use.
Is the ones that melts your belly.
Iceberg ice. Yeah.
Preferably. Do you chop it in like a
I like to take a pick.
Yeah. What if you had a bar on an iceberg, like a cocktail lounge, and it's, you know, you just chop the ice right off the floor?
Yes.
And like chop it up into that little.
You even have glassware made from ice.
Yeah.
What would you call it? The Oasis?
I don't think there's any other name that would fit.
Is there places that we could go do that? It'd be like a mobile bar, because after a while the iceberg would turn into people's drinking vessels and you'd run out.
What if, well, it could be mobile because the iceberg came off the shelf and you're like floating through the ocean. So cruise ships would just find your mobile bar. It's like a pop-up food truck.
I love it.
And then they just pull up. Ooh. Everybody gets out, make some cocktails.
Yeah. And you don't have to actually make the ice drink, like the cups from the berg. You could just have like molds and then like fill it with water and let it freeze overnight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody would know the difference.
How would you keep like dangerous animals away from, did you just put up like a fence?
Well, I think that if you had a floating berg, once you have, like, there wouldn't be any dangerous animals on it, because like how would they get there?
Swim up and just
like a shark jumps up on it.
What are those things that like, they're like giant sea lions, but sharks, as long as they're not cocaine sharks, you're good.
It was your friend that made a song about cocaine sharks?
Dude, said he. He's like, I want to be where sharks are high on the sun. It's like such a good melody, dude.
Dude, shout out Serhi.
Serhi. Honestly, yes. I fucking love him.
Dude, we should do another beer?
Yeah, I think it's beer time. I can grab them, or
yeah.
Do you want me to go? I'll fetch them.
No, I'm the host.
I'll just stay here.
You just stay here. We'll be right back, folks.
So while he's grabbing our beers, what I wanted to really address was, no, I'm just kidding. Act normal.
Act normal. I'm gonna get an IPA. Do you want an IPA? Or do you want a Modelo?
You know, I've been a Mexican lager guy. I was IPA guy for years. Any IPA. I felt like that was the only beer worth drinking. I thought this stuff just made you burpy. But over the years, dude, I don't drink very many IPAs. Like hardly ever anymore.
That's good for not getting chubby, because I'm like, I like to drink them, but I'm like, I can't drink too many. I'm gonna get.
I've still found a way to do that, dude. You just have to drink every night. Trust me, it works. You were telling me though, you are doing, what's your drinking rule? Because I'm inspired by it.
My drinking rule right now is 15 drinks a week. So and I have exceptions, but I made a contract. I don't think I've talked about this actually, which is it's really helped me because last year I did it. I did 100 days, and I did only 3 days a week I could drink, and I could drink 5 drinks a day. But I allowed myself to drink unlimited drinks during a podcast. So one of the things I discovered though is that I got incredibly fucked up on podcasts and like would just go ham. And then after the podcast, would just like drink liquor, get incredibly blackout, and then would do nothing the next day. So this year I'm just doing 15 drinks a week total, but I could put them all in one day if I wanted to, but then I don't drink the rest of the week.
Beer, wine, doesn't matter. Just order per order one drink.
So like it's like a shot or like a cocktail or a beer. Okay. So I still like I'll end up having these like moments where I'm like, oh well, if I'm gonna drink 5 beers, I might as well get 8%ers, not 5%ers, right? So, but it still has really helped me dial back my drinking, where I'm like, well, if I can only drink this amount, I don't like keep going when I don't really need to. And when I'm like, oh, I only have 3 drinks left and I want to drink on Friday with my friends, I won't drink that much here. And the way that I've forced myself to do it is I write a contract with somebody. So for example, I wrote a contract with my buddy Justin, and he's doing the same thing with slightly different rules. But if I break the contract, I owe him $1,000. So if I were to drink one more than 15, like if I'm on Friday night and I've already had my 15th drink, you know, that's like about 5 a night for 3 days. Or I could drink 2 a night and, you know, I could just have a drink here and there. But like I have a problem. So I'm like, it's definitely helped me scale it back.
And it hasn't been hard?
It is tricky, but it does help me knowing that if I cross the line, I'm going to owe $1,000.
Lifestyle wise, like, is it affecting you? Or is it you can still do
I still go out when I want to.
Like soda water.
Yeah. Or like non-alcoholic beers.
There's some good NA beers,
yeah,
man.
They're so nice.
Because you still feel the flavor.
I still feel like I'm a part of the situation. So if I've already like used up my drinks and it's Friday and I'm like, I want to go to Sturman's, I'll just get a non-alcoholic and I'll just, I'm still sitting here chilling, listening to some music.
If these are adult beverages, non-alcoholic beers are like double adult beverages because you're choosing to like get the flavor. But
yeah.
Okay.
But, and there's also this thing where it's just, like I do this thing normally where I drink. I'm like, I'm drinking, so I want to get fucked up. But then I could have like 5 drinks, but I'm already drunk. I'm like, I don't need to drink anymore, but I'll still just continue to drink because why not? And so then I'll just have a bunch more shots. Then I'll black out. Then I'll wake up tomorrow hungover. And then I'll be like, well, fuck, I'm hungover. I should just like have a beer to like, you know, hair of the dog, feel a little better, and then I'll drink all day the next day. And then all of a sudden I just like cycle into this behavior, and I've done it for like, especially with the industry I work in, where I'm just like drinking every day. I'm like, dude, that's not good. So it really does help me like dial it back.
I hate to admit, I think I drink every single day, and for the majority of my life,
I do.
I'm not even trying to or setting out to. I think early on it was exciting. I was like, oh, I want to get my drinks.
Yeah.
Like go drink. But now it's like it's grafted into everything. Sunday morning, that's at my brunch gigs.
Oh yeah. Is your thing still there? Oh, I was gonna go back to your buddy, your Ukrainian friend that made the cocaine shark one.
Yes.
But when you were talking about that, and we were talking about making songs every day, and I was like, dude, if you start to make a song a day, we were talking earlier about just writing every day and creating every day and dedicating maybe say an hour or even half hour. But that'd be so cool if you're writing a song, and so when you're writing a song a day, like you don't put such high expectation on it. You're like, oh, this has to be the best song ever. You know, it has to like fit all the like whatever. You're just like, let me write another cool song. Let me write another cool song. And then you can start like having more fun with it, where you're like, yeah, I want to write a song about cocaine sharks, like your homeboy.
I love that. Yeah.
And you're like, and then when something in the media happens, like you were talking about, he wrote a song about people eating cats. You're like, oh yeah, they had the debates and they were talking about people eating cats. I'm gonna make a song about it. Like you're just having fun.
Like you give yourself a topic and then you give yourself like Like right now, I have to write a song about Fuji apples.
Yeah.
Like they're running low on those Fuji apples. Get down to the store and make, I don't know. But that's stupid, but I get what you mean. No, it's the idea is consistency though, right?
Yeah, I think so. And then I just also think that, like, this is why I want to start figuring out a way to do YouTube live every day. But like, you also get the opportunity to be the first to talk about a topic when it pops. So if like early in the morning you wake up and you open up the news and it says that Justin Timberlake got eaten by a shark, that's going to be all over the news. And like, that could just be the subject of the song that you're going to make. And you're like, how Justin
got eaten by a shark.
But
should have
like,
taken his girlfriend to that
motherfucking park. But then, like, when people are looking up what happened to Justin Timberlake, your song pops up just out of nowhere because you would just like, you're like, oh, that was silly. I'll put it out there.
Yeah. Is it black or gold? Is it white or blue? Or what was that whole?
Oh, that little
white or gold or black and blue.
Yeah. All the colors of the rainbow. No, yeah, what was that? Like a sweater that had like different colors.
Some girl's dress or something. Mm-hmm. Even when I hear claims about what it was, I feel like in this world we live in, like those claims, I don't know what to believe in.
I just saw red.
I don't know what to believe in no matter what.
That's true. It is tricky.
It's hard. Somebody could just make it seem real.
Do you know anybody who believes in flat Earth?
Yeah, I've met people.
Do they give you like pretty good arguments or no?
Not really. I mean, it's the most bullshit thing I've ever heard, but I think the best argument I ever heard was the hallway effect. And I was like, okay, there might be something to what you're saying.
What's the hallway effect?
But they leave out every other thing of like, it just, I don't believe in it. But like the hallway effect, I'm like, okay, if you're that fucking ignorant or dumb, then maybe the hallway effect would convince you.
Yeah.
Like maybe that's the kicker, and that's why they pull it out loud. They're like, oh, but have you heard of the hallway effect? It's like when you're in a hotel and you're in like a long ass hallway and there's like hundreds of rooms. By the end of the hallway, like our vision makes it go like, and it looks like it's like an inch high. So like the sun setting is just like the longer it moves this way, your vision makes it seem like it's going down or away.
Yeah.
That one was like, okay, because if we're just observing it, that's a kind of a cool idea.
Yeah.
But it's just.
But doesn't the sun get bigger as it goes down?
My dick gets bigger as it goes down.
No, I actually never met anybody that thinks that. I just think it's crazy.
You haven't?
Mm-mm. I mean, I've read a lot online.
I lived out in the country for years and met some interesting folks.
Dude, I always forget that you live from New Plymouth,
cowboy town. Well, not like like city cowboys.
I went to this bar in New Plymouth. It's a steakhouse.
Double Diamond.
Yeah, is it the steakhouse?
Yeah. Oh, dude, I saw you post about that. When did you do that?
We went to. I went out to Weezer. Cinda's from Weezer.
Okay.
And then my friend Danica. Have you ever met Danica? Or do you know her? Danica Johannick. She's from New Plymouth. But her dad, they're from like a farm out there.
Okay.
But she used to live with me at the Fifth House back when we played together. But so we went out and like helped her move a little bit. And then I was like, do you want to go to a bar? And so we just went to this random New Plymouth bar and it was the steakhouse. It was fun. It was cool.
It's cool. Yeah. Were there any fights or
no.
What's her last name?
Johannick?
Nope, I don't know her. No.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if you knew. I mean, I assume everybody in small towns know each other, but that's not always true.
Yeah, it's still small, but like.
Yeah, and you guys moved here when?
When I was like 22.
Yeah. Okay.
So.
Yeah, she might have been like she's probably like 5 or 6 years younger than you too. So. I don't really know.
I love Weezer.
That was my first time.
It's so peaceful.
Yeah. We went to a Chinese restaurant there. That was pretty good.
Was it good?
Weezer's known for their Chinese.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Nice. I didn't know that.
No, it was one of Cinda's like favorite spots growing up, and so we went and like met her family and shit. But
That's tight.
then we went to the football field. Yeah, it is like a cutesy little town.
The football field, yeah. They do the Fiddle Fest out there.
Yeah.
Billy Strings even used to go to the Fiddle Fest. Yeah,
I did hear
10
about
years
that.
ago, before he was anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's such a cool last name. Do you think he made it his last name, or do you think that he had it?
That's a good question.
Because
it seems like a name, like a last name that was reinvented. He might be like Billy Mumphrey or something.
Yeah,
right?
but he's like, dude, Billy Strings sounds way better.
Because we're all playing with stringed instruments, it would
Yeah.
be cool to call it Billy Strings.
But it also could be true if if your last name is Strings, you should probably play the fiddle.
Maybe he was just called. They're like Billy Strings. Billy Strings Montgomery. I mean, see, it could be his middle name. Do you think Strings could be a middle name?
I think that you can name a middle name whatever you want.
Yeah.
I want my middle name to be motherfucking
Joshua motherfucker. Yeah. I like it.
That would be cool, actually. You name your kid that.
Motherfunkin'?
No, just like the middle name. Like you just want your kid to be a badass. So you're like, your last name's what, Carrier?
Yeah.
So you're just like, you have a kid, you name him Andrew. Andrew motherfucking Carrier.
Yeah.
And that's literally on his birth certificate. Like, you know your kid's going to be a badass when you name him that.
Like, everyone will give him more respect right off the bat. Like, he doesn't have to do anything to... Dude, do you have any, like... Well, no, you're never going to have kids.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I don't know.
I got snipped, so.
Yeah. Can't you reverse that?
You can. I don't think I'll be able to at this point. It's been like over 5 years. If I want, I'll just adopt. Yeah. I think that's the way.
If I ever have a son, I have a name in mind, though. It's dope. Toby.
I like Toby.
Yeah, Toby is like Toby.
Not I.
If it's a girl, her name will be Toby with an I.
Ah, so either way, it's going to be Toby.
Fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Because, like, I feel like the Toby is, like, the cool one in the room. Everyone likes Toby because they're happy, they're content. They will comfort you, but they're also, like, confident. I don't know.
Do you think that...
Toby.
The thing that I like about being a dude is, in general... I mean, there's a lot of things I like about being a guy. Like, mostly because we're better.
That's a given. But
I like...
Erase it. No.
I like being able to... or I like the idea of, like, I could decide to have a kid at 50. I mean, I can't because I'm snipped. But in general, you're like, oh, I can wait till later. So that gives you more time to establish yourself. You're like, well, I don't need to, like I can make my money. I can become successful.
Have something to bring to the table.
And then I can settle down and raise a family. Like, there's a lot of guys that do that, though. They're like, I want to have a kid when I'm 22. But girls have a time frame.
Yeah.
Unless they adopt, of course. But I also think you can adopt, like you could be 50 and like, yeah, I'm going to adopt.
I have a lot of friends who have adopted, and it seems to be a really awesome experience. So,
yeah.
Dude, I almost wound up with 3 children from one relationship.
Really?
Yeah, I thought in my mind I was going to be their stepdad. And it was fun.
Did that fuck with you or no?
Yeah, it started to after a while.
Was that that girl you dated?
Banana?
You were telling me about Banana.
Isn't that her name?
Yeah. That was like one of your first relationships though, right?
No.
Oh.
There was several in.
Huh. I don't know if I remember that or not. That is wild though. Like when you love someone so much, you're like, okay, could I take these little chillins on?
Yeah. Well, I think in the back of my head, knowing my dad and his two sisters,
right,
had like 3 dads. Like I always thought in the back of my head, I'm like, dude, this is whatever. And my own sister, you know, she has a daughter. Sure. Like, so I'm like, there's got to be some dudes out there that are just like willing. They're like, dude, I don't know. It's kind of classic.
Yeah.
Come along, you meet somebody, you're like, I like you. And then, oh, you got little kids? Fuck yeah, I like you. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. It is different though. I was like, in my head, I'm like, during that time, there was subconscious thoughts like I always wanted to have my own family or like make my own children or something with somebody, but like it kind of disappears because you're like, well, I guess I don't have to do that now, and somebody else is paying child support, so this is a win.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And you don't have to go through the poopy phase.
Yeah, no dipes, dude.
Yeah, no dipes, no dice.
No dipes, no dice. Dude, that's the name of my next album, actually. I was meaning to tell you. Hey, Russell.
Dude, my brother had one kid, and he said he never wanted to have another kid because he, like, didn't want to go through that baby phase again. Like, that's the main reason.
Really?
Like, I can't put up with another 2 years of that bullshit.
Really?
Even though he loves having a kid.
Yeah.
But he's like, I just don't want to go through that period again, so I don't want another kid.
I think one's enough. That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
I mean, easier to have one, I feel like. Spoil them.
Yeah. But then they're like that spoiled fucking brat.
Depends on what you name him.
That is true.
If his name's Toby, he'll understand that he's just cool. But if his name is like some kind of douche name,
yeah,
I won't say any names because that could hurt people's feelings.
Yeah,
but,
like
it's just your name is like Chance, like you might just be annoying.
Yeah, you just know that guy's spoiled.
Yeah, or Chad. Don't have a child and name him Chad.
Well, I think anymore
it's kind of rude.
I feel like anymore you can't name him Chad because it's already known. But that's like the whole nature of name popularity. You know, like you wouldn't really name your daughter Jessica anymore.
Yeah.
Because it's overplayed, you know.
It's kind of outdone.
But in the 80s and 90s, there was no Jessicas. So then they're like, ooh, what if we named our kid Jessica?
That's hot.
That would be like, fresh. Nobody's doing it.
Jessica.
And then everybody did it. And then we have a bunch of white bitches named Jessica. Which actually every Jessica I've met is really sweet, to be fair.
I've never met a bad Jessica.
Yeah, me neither.
I feel like they have to live up to that reputation.
Yeah, they're just like, they're kind of like, you know, they're not all the smartest, but they're really nice. They're sweet.
They're doing their best.
I think that's what Jessica means.
Doing thy best. Yeah.
Jessica,
oh my God, that's good.
Motherfucker, dude. Well, like all those American Girl doll names, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
There was like a Jessica and like
Felicity.
a Felicity.
She was hot. Well, that's weird to say. That sounds weird to say.
It sounds like your grandma's hot.
I didn't mean it like that. Yeah, like no, but like that name.
Yeah.
Could you imagine?
Dolls being hot?
No. Some dolls are hot.
Yeah, dude.
If you want to make a hot doll, you could probably make it.
Yeah, they call them Mecca.
Oh my God.
Dude, what if like the robots take over and they have like robotic sex toys? Would you do it?
Probably not. No, actually, I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, I know that's a dilemma.
I think that as long as everything was consensual with the robot,
you could just program it to say yes.
Yeah. So then, it's all consensual. It's good. Yeah. I think that could save a lot of trouble.
Oh, what I was thinking about. So, like, one of my arguments for, I'm more being facetious about that, but there's an argument for prostitution, like, because a lot of people are anti-prostitution. But there's a really good argument for it where it's just like, dude, there is a lot of men who will never have sex if they couldn't pay for it. Like, so you could have like social disorders, you know, you just like can't talk to a girl. You could have some sort of like mental disorder, you could have physical disorders, you could just be a weird dude who like really like you could be that 45-year-old virgin who could never get it. And prostitution allows you to be like, yeah, but I still want to experience this magical thing, which is sex, which is a very human thing. And like, there's a show called Legit by Jim Jeffries. I don't
What's
know
it
if you know.
called?
Legit.
Legit.
And they his Jim Jeffries, who's a comedian, is this star of the show, and his brother is like he used to be a foreign exchange student, and this guy has this disease where he can't move any limbs, so he's in a wheelchair. And so he's 23 or 24, and he's just never been laid, never gonna be laid. He's in a hospital. So the very first episode, Jim Jeffries like breaks him out. He's like, we're taking you to the whorehouse, and he brings him out of the and they drive so the whole episode's about.
So he can move a limb.
Yeah, so he has muscular dystrophy or something.
Okay.
So he can't move his muscles.
But he can still.
But your dick isn't a muscle. It's just blood flow. So anyway, they bring him to the whorehouse and they get him laid. And it's like ends up being really sweet at the end. But it like kind of made me think about it. I'm like, yeah, like that guy would have never experienced what it's like to be with a woman if it hadn't been for his friend who brought him to the whorehouse. Mm-hmm. But like, so that's like an argument for, I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of arguments against prostitution, but I don't know how I got on this tangent.
I think that everyone deserves the right to choose whatever they want to do to make an income. Supporting their family. You don't have to agree with it.
Yeah.
It's not your life. And I think to each their own is the rule of love.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, I think that's just the best way to put it. I think that obviously all arguments made towards it or against it probably have validity. That's a problem with opinions.
Yeah.
I don't like it when people tell me what I do or what I don't do.
Right.
Is good or bad. So,
yeah.
I would say that was probably, I bet you for the prostitute, it probably maybe it was like a really fulfilling experience for them as well.
Yeah.
To be able to take care of somebody. I don't know.
There's a thing that like I'll talk about strippers I know, like when I'm at the bar, for example. They're like, oh, it's just so, it's sad. Like and sometimes it is sad because the girl's like doesn't want to do it. And you can tell, you're like, dude, you hate it here. Like, you shouldn't be here. You hate it.
Not having any fun.
But then there's other times where they're like, I know a ton of strippers that are like, dude, I like dancing. I make really good money. Like, I have a good time. It's not a big deal. But so anyway, there's like,
I've had some friends that have said the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that have like judged, and they'll be like, well, it's just really sad to me because, they're more than just their body. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, yeah, they are. But like, they still have to make a living. And like, but a lot of us just use our body to make money. Like all I do, like I'm not using my brain to make money when I'm serving you beer. All I'm doing is pouring you a beer and pretending to like you. Like that goes against like that's not fulfilling.
It's service industry.
Yeah, like I'm just, or like take the coal worker who goes into his mine and destroys his body to make money to feed his family. Like that's pretty degrading.
Yeah.
If you think about it, but like he needs to make a living and he's choosing the way that he knows how. And whatever. Like most jobs are body jobs, like physical. At least like since the dawn of time. I mean, we have a lot more like mental things. But like when people are like, I just wish that they would like use their brain more. I'm like, yeah, but they probably use their brain more outside of work. But they're using their body to make money, and they can use their brain in another time.
I think it just depends on what people are comfortable with. Some people have different. Some people feel differently about sexuality and about. Some people, yeah, like some people. Like smoke weed with their parents growing up. Like,
yeah, that's a weird one for me. Like like that would have never happened in my growing up. And when I meet people like, oh yeah, I smoke weed with my parents, I'm like, what?
Yeah, what?
That's wild. They they let you. They did it with you.
It's true.
Yeah, it is interesting how you. different upbringings.
It's just quick for people to like judge the shit out of something that they don't agree with, which is weak because like if you believe what you believe, you shouldn't have to like defend it or cast any other belief out. Like what means that their belief isn't as valid as yours?
Yeah,
it's just different. You guys aren't the same people. Like I've met such extreme individuals that like I don't even know where to begin with how extreme they are, and 2 hours of hanging out with them feels like it changes me. And I'm like, I know we're like totally different fucking people, but like I actually really like them just as much as anybody else.
Yeah,
because like at the end of the day, like you're taking your clothes off and getting in bed, and you have to sleep, and you have to eat and shit and shower and maintain some kind of social status. So like I don't know, it's just like whatever.
Speaking of weird individuals, you should tell me about that date.
Yeah, dude. Okay, I'm gonna pee real fast.
Yeah, okay. Dude, I would love to hear about this date.
And then I'll tell you.
We'll be right back.
How do you generate a beep tone? Dude, you should come up with one, dude. Yeah,
I should, because right now I just have a beep. Maybe like just like a girl's moan.
Or toilet flushing.
Oh, that's good. I like that actually better.
What about like you could layer the two, like with like a.
Did I ever tell you about I wanted to make this song? I still actually do want to make the song, but I had this whole sexual album that I wanted to make, and I wanted to make the beat. I wanted to make the snare drum a moan. And I wanted to try to like record an actual one, like not a fake one, but like record having sex and just see if I can get like a really good. Just
get permission to record the audio.
Yeah. Like, and I've talked to like a couple.
I'm sure people would be down with this.
That would be down, but like, so then the song was just like.
I like it. You could even sample that.
Something like that. Ooh, yeah. Don't anyone steal this idea, by the way. I came up with first.
I like it.
Yeah. But like just changing up the snare. I've heard a snare or like doing a snare with
like an ass clap.
Well, that's a good one. I want to do a snare with a bite. Like, but you'd have to like really get that like.
Yeah, just like a bit too hard, just like
it loud enough. But that would be cool.
Like from Top Gun, like you could sample Ice. It's kind of like snapping his teeth.
Oh yeah.
Dude, I love the idea of sampling fucked up sounds and so like nobody else knows.
Yeah.
One time, like me and my buddy Tyler and
Shocky?
Sea of Glass, yeah, like years ago, like, and it wasn't just him and I, it was the whole band. We got on this like fucked up tangent, and it was kind of fucked, but like we thought it was so funny for some reason. Like we were sampling everything for that album. I forget what the name right now. Like that full length one we did.
Yeah.
Why can't I think of the name right now? It doesn't matter. It was Oceans or Zeros actually this time. But we sampled so much stuff, and we thought we were like slamming Fish on Rock too. Like, we got on this whole tangent of like trying to make like really fucked up samples.
That's pretty funny.
That kind of sounded like good though.
Yeah.
We never did it.
Dude, what's that one Angels and Airways record where they were just like hitting a bunch of kitchen instruments? Not kitchen instruments.
I mean, essentially.
Yeah, they were just using like glassware and pots and pans and then just ding ding.
Yeah.
Like, oh, like what's it sound like if we fill it halfway full or And they use that like a lot.
I want Russ to sit on my lap.
He doesn't like you as much.
He doesn't. That's okay. You're his dad.
Russ, you should look at the camera though. You always look this way. They want to see
buddy.
you.
Look over this way, dude. Look at those eyes. I
know. He's like, no, let me do what I want to
do. I love cats.
Oh, tell me about this date thing.
Worst date of my life?
Yeah, dude. Joe told me about this. the other day, and I was like, this deserves to be on.
Yeah, it's actually my friends they make like short films, and when they heard, instantaneously they were like, okay, just send me a voice memo of you describing the day. So I'll just send them this podcast, and then they can make the script out of what I'm about to tell you.
Yeah.
Killing two birds with one stone, dude. Time management.
Getting two birds stoned at once.
Who would have known, dude? Higher than a bird. A falcon status.
Dude, she got flipped the bird.
So yeah, my first indicator should have been that it was Terry's.
Oh, you went to Terry's?
Yeah.
Okay.
Scary Terry's. You know, you go with the right people and it's the best place.
Yeah, that is true.
Go with the wrong people and it's not the best place. Anyways, that should have been my first indicator. But I got there a few minutes before. I'm sitting on the back patio with my drink. And I'm gonna try to shorten this actually, because I could draw it out, but I'm gonna try to hit like the main points so it doesn't. Like, she comes out, she basically like grabs a drink, she sits at the table, she gives me this big fat hug, sits down, like, and her first question was, "Hey, I need to ask you something." I was like, "Okay, yeah, go for it." She's like, "Are you gay?" And I laughed. Like, okay, that's kind of an interesting first question. No? Why do you ask? What does that matter? But no. But she's like, because of the way you sound when you speak. I fucking lost my mind, dude. I started laughing. I'm like, are you serious? No, like, that's hilarious. Nobody's ever said that to me before.
Wait, where did you meet
her?
But
it was sort of like immediately I was like, that's so dumb. Like, why did you just ask me that, dude?
Wait, where did you meet her?
At this open mic that I do like on Mondays at Sturman's.
Shout out Sturman's.
And everyone thought she was dope as fuck when she came in. We even like did some spontaneous harmonies and stuff, and it was like, it was lit.
Then you get like this date organized.
Yeah, she ended up leaving her number at the lounge and saying, I want to like meet Joe and talk to him more about music and stuff.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, that's cool. She seems to be really into music. We had like pretty cool like on the fly harmonizing things going on. So I'm like, yeah, absolutely. Let's go grab a drink. And it was just like probably the worst choice of my life, honestly. Well, whatever, it was fine. But like, so then after that, let's get back on track. She's like, oh, okay, well, blah blah blah. Like, it's just the way that you sound when you talk. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that's just. Nope, it's not really my preference. Like, just the way that I speak. I'm expressive and I speak in a higher register. I could speak in a lower register if I wanted to, but I just don't like the way it sounds. I think it's creepy. And maybe if I adopted this habit, people would get used to it. I hate it.
I'm hard right now.
I figured so. I figured as much so. No, so then she's like, okay, she's like, tell me about your life. And I kind of just give her a quick little blah, 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 blah. This is where I was born. This is what I've done. Tell me about yours. She kind of goes into it. And then she's like trying to remember what she was going to tell me. So I was like, well, okay, hold that thought. Do you want another drink? No, I'm good. Okay, I'm going to run to the bathroom and grab another drink. I'll be right back. Because it's been like a while. Like, I need another drink to keep the conversation going. And I come out and I'm like, there's like a Bee Gees song on the radio. And I'm like, I'm like singing along and I'm walking out with my drink. I sit down and I notice my drink is gone. She finished it while I went to the bathroom. So I was like, interesting. I didn't say anything, but I'm like, okay, whatever. I don't care. Got thirsty. She goes, what's this all about? My phone, like, because I set my phone down, like, face down. She's like, what's this all about? And I'm like, what do you mean? And she's like, your phone? She's like, I swear, how old are you? 35, 37? Like, come on. And I was like, I'm sorry, I don't know what you're talking about. And she's like, everybody. It's just like, and she does this like weird, like loser shit moment. And she's like, people are just so obsessed. And she's like, starts pointing at everybody. And like, I was like gathering myself. I'm like, okay, like, My phone has been face down the whole time, and I promise I haven't looked at it since you've been here.
Yeah.
If that makes you feel better, like. And then she immediately goes, "You have work to do." And I said, "What do you mean?" She's like, "I've heard you sing." And I'm like, "God damn it." And I'm thinking, "God damn it. What the fuck?" She goes, "I've heard you sing." And I was like, "Okay." She's like, and then she goes, and I'm like, she's like, "You need," and I'm like trying to read her. Like, she's like, "You need to," she's like, "You just sing from here up." She's like, "You need to learn to use your diaphragm." And I'm like, "Dude, I don't want to get defensive. I'm just surprised that this is and I'm not even really defensive. I'm more like, how do I engage in this conversation without sounding defensive?
Right.
But I was like, "Oh no, I'm just fucking around. Like, I totally get the diaphragm. Like, I did like classical voice lessons, like breath support, diaphragm, shaping the vowels. Like, it's all like a process." But I was like, "Yeah, no, I mean," then I interrupted myself and I was like, "You're right. No, there's always work to be done on the voice. Like, I will never say like, oh, like there's always work to be done." And then she interrupts me and she goes, "God, I just want to kiss you." And I was like, I started laughing actually. And then without skipping a beat, she's like, "But seriously, you have work to do." And then she goes, "Do you believe in Jesus?" Without skipping a beat, dude.
Damn.
And I'm like looking for a camera at this point.
Ashton?
Yes, where are you, Ashton? No, fuck.
That's wild.
I was confused and I was like, I believe Jesus existed. I struggle with certain beliefs about him. I didn't want to go into it, but I'm like, I think the dogma that followed wasn't wasn't he maybe what he was about. And I try to keep it like surface level. And she's like, "Ah!" She like screams. She's like, "Why won't anybody believe?" Dude, I was like, okay.
Oh my God.
Man, there was other stuff that it was bad, but anyways, I was like, that's okay. Like, I'm not saying I don't believe. I might not believe the same way you do. Like, I want to believe. Like, I don't know. It was weird. And then she's like, "I really want to go inside and sing some karaoke." And so we walk in and we stand at the bar. And this is where it got like, I was like, "Dude, this is so fucked." So, like, we're standing at the bar and she's like, "Oh, you got work to do." And I was like, "Okay, I don't know what you're talking about." And she's like, and I was like, "Oh, the diaphragm." Like, well, sorry. Slippery. Okay. I was like, "The diaphragm." And she goes, "Mm-mm." And she like reaches over and grabs my tummy.
What?
Grabs my little belly fat and goes like, and there's
Oh my
there's
God.
not a lot to grab, but I do have like a little dad bod going, and I laughed and I was like, "Wait, you're talking about my belly?" And she's like, and I was like,
Jesus.
"Hey, you're right. I do have work to do there. Like, I've been hitting the gym. Like, I got sick and kind of fell out of the routine, and it's summer, so I've been pounding beers with my homies and like kind of blew my diet out of the water, just having like a douchey summer. Like, I don't know." And at this point, I'm like, "This sucks, dude." I feel like
yeah.
now I feel kind of like, well, if I were to do that to anybody,
You have work to do.
what?
Like this.
Yeah.
Fix it.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Jesus.
And I, at that point, I was like trying to figure out how to respond to her. And I thought, man, like, deep nostril breath. "May I be honest with you? I'm going to be very straightforward with you. Can you just let me be straightforward with you, please?" And she says, "Oh, absolutely. Absolutely." And I was like, "These last 30 minutes of my life have been the most excruciatingly awkward and uncomfortable I think I've ever experienced with anybody. Everything that you have said has made me feel horrible and awkward, and I can't think of a worse time I've ever had with somebody. And her eyes get all big. She's like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, well, like, all right, let's just run through it. Like, it's only been like 25, 30 minutes, and you like told me, you like said, oh, your voice sounds like this or whatever. I don't even fucking care about that one, but it was more like, you don't start it off that way.
Yeah.
And then she's like, then I said, and then you told me I don't know how to sing, that I'm a bad singer, which also comes to as a shock to me, because you asked me to take the lead melody of 2 Fleetwood Mac songs to harmonize with me. So I was singing Stevie Nicks like in my falsetto.
Right.
Anyways, and then I said, and then you literally just grabbed my belly and told me I needed to lose weight.
Yeah.
And she said, no, I didn't.
What?
I was like,
that's wild.
Sweetie.
Okay.
So then she walks over to her table and sits down with her beer, and I kind of like, I'm ready to leave. I walk over there with her, and she's like, I have a lot to teach you. And at that moment, I just said, happy birthday. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your night. It's getting a little late. And
he's bounced.
I give her a little side hug, and she's like, good night. And I left.
Dude, oh yeah.
That's it, dude. Like,
that's so wild.
I mean, I don't want to shit on.
I've never had that bad of a date.
Like, it wasn't even like cool. Like, every moment, it's hard to retell the story, especially after a while. Cause like, it was easier to tell it fresh on.
Right.
Cause I could get inflections, and I was like feeling more of like the freshness of it. Going back to it, cause like, I didn't really carry that too hard. But like, now it's fun to talk about.
Yeah, yeah.
But it feels so cheap to try to describe how awkward it was now. Yeah. It doesn't do any justice, but my fucking God, dude.
Dude, that sounds really awkward.
Never in my life. Like, dude, she was like, she body shamed me. She like made fun of the way that I talk. She made fun of the way that I sing, which is what I do to make a living.
Yeah.
And like on every single level. And then she like got all weird about like my belief system, and then like asked to make out in the midst of that conversation.
Yeah.
The next night, she sent me a text. Yeah, she read this article. She's like, get laid more often. Like, throw some negs.
Make fun of like all of the things, and then in the middle.
So backfire with like, no. Bless her heart. She messaged me the next night.
That's so wild. Maybe she was just like, she learned how to neg, and she just went too far with it. She was just like making fun of everything, and then she's like, we should fuck.
Yeah, dude. That actually makes sense.
Huh.
But I wasn't that into her to begin with at all. Even I thought she just wanted to talk about music.
Yeah.
I have other interests, like, to be very straightforward. Like, I'm not, like, I wasn't necessarily, I mean, I was open to the idea that maybe like, she was interested, and I'm not like, whatever, but yeah. So then when she texted me the next day, she's like, I apologize for my drunken something and my low vibrations, and I just deleted it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You're like, don't ever come to open mic again.
I don't have time for this shit. Yeah.
You should have sent her a voice memo. Be like, I thought a lot about what you said.
Like, I've been using my diaphragm more lately. To be honest with you, it means a lot. Thank you. Also, I'm straight.
I'm getting lipo.
And I believe in Jesus as my father.
I've never been able to figure out how to make my voice
I've lost.
Yeah. You can't go deep like that?
No, I mean, I can do that. Like
it goes deep.
I can go deep. But like, I can't make a low sounding voice that sounds natural.
Like, wow.
Like, hello, Joe. I was thinking about, like, it just doesn't,
Hey,
maybe
Jo-
it does sound natural if you do it a lot, but I can't.
Let's try it for a second. Hey, Josh. Tell me about your afternoon.
So, the other day I was thinking about this girl came up to me and she said, wow, Joshua, you have such a deep, sexy voice.
Yes.
It really makes me want to mount you.
Oh, yes.
And I told her, don't be so desperate.
Don't drop so low, sweetie.
I prefer talking up like this. It's fun.
Yeah.
I'm like, excuse me, dude. And we were joking about it earlier, dude. I'll throw some wrist shit. I drop my wrist sometimes. I don't care.
That's what I was telling you. I was like, dude, the amount of
No
people.
wonder she asked. Honestly, I bless her.
The amount of people that thought I was gay is a lot. There was this one time, I was dating this girl, Tori, and I didn't get to know her friends very well, but my friend Ammon was hanging out with us, and he came out this one night, and he was just like, "I'm gay." That's dope, dude. And he's like, I want to have a coming out party, or like I want to go out.
Nice.
I'm like, cool, man. Yeah, like you should come out with us.
How many people were there? Did he just tell you? Or?
Well, I think he had told a few friends, but then he's like, I really want to go out. And so
Okay.
I was like, well, hey, I'm going to go meet up with Tori's friends.
Yeah.
And then we're going to go out to the balcony. So do you want to come? And he's like, yeah, dude, that'd be dope. So I bring him to Tori's friend's house and we're all playing beer pong, little college party. She was going to BSU. This is like when I first moved here.
Yeah.
And then we all go to the balcony. So he's just like, yeah, like I came out, I'm gay. And then we went to the balcony and he ended up meeting like some dude or something. I don't remember exactly how the night went. But anyway, like a week or so later, Tori came over and she brings some of like to the fifth house where I lived over on Glenwood area. And so she brings some of her friends out and she goes, yeah, do you want to come out to Josh's house, like to have a party? I'm like, oh yeah, your gay friend. And she's like, no, it's the guy I've been fucking. And like, wait, you're fucking the gay one? So all of her friends thought I was gay. And they're like, well, didn't he just like, wasn't he with that guy who just came out? Like, so they just always like I'm like from square one, they assumed I was gay. So even when she started bringing me around, they thought I was her gay friend.
You're a very handsome gay man.
Hey. And yeah, I mean, like, oh, dude, it's happened all the time. I mean, like when I was started at Rudy's.
Oh, dude.
Just like everyone was like, dude, this guy's gay.
Honestly, it's comforting to know that, like, in a weird way, it's sort of comforting to know that you get that too.
Yeah,
It's
you
like,
don't want to be the only one.
It's not like that big of a deal, but sometimes in the back of my head, after like incident.
It's annoying when it happens a lot.
I'm like, dude, am I projecting the wrong kind of fucking energy right now? Like, don't get me wrong. I think dudes are fucking badass. Like, I love my dudes. Like, and I will hug you and like, but like, fuck, for Christ's sake. I don't know. It's just like,
yeah, I mean, there's been times in my life.
What am I doing to make you think that?
Yeah, there's been times in my life where it like has bothered me more, and there's other times where I'm like, dude, I don't give a fuck. Like, I get more.
It depends
pussy.
on the situation.
I'll be like, I'll get more pussy than this guy who's making fun of me for being gay.
Well, that's the best
like,
part about it. Yeah,
that's
that's
like, dude, I don't give a fuck what you think.
Normally, when I'm being asked that, I'm like out with some girl or something, and it's hilarious. But
yeah,
I don't care.
Yeah, as long as you can keep that vibe, or like it doesn't matter. The
feeling that I always get, because it is weekly more often than not, people will say something. It's weird, but the thing that comes over me is like, man, I just feel like in the world that we live in, like that's actually really, it's just kind of like a strange thing to just like immediately ask somebody about like their sexual preference within like 10 minutes of chatting at a bar.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that's not weird.
Oh, maybe.
I don't know. But to me, I probably wouldn't unless like, I don't know. Like,
I like to do it to fuck with guys that like start working with me at a restaurant where I just assume that they're gay, even though I know that they're not, but I say it. And this is more just to fuck with them. But we were talking and I'm like, yeah, anyway, I'm like, you're gay, right? And we'll like talk about a dude or like talk about something. I'm like, yeah, you're gay, right? And they're like, no. Wait, why did you think that? I was like, oh shit, sorry, man.
No,
I'm sorry. I just thought you were. No big deal.
Just checking.
And then it's like, but it's like
checking.
some really straight dude who like has probably never been asked that.
Yeah.
And then they're like, wait, what the fuck? But that's more of
hilarious.
just like, I just like to fuck with people. But yeah, it might be weird to ask somebody. I don't know.
It's yeah, well, it's just like, I guess maybe some people, that's what they're concerned about knowing.
Yeah.
And that's not on my mind when I'm talking to anybody, typically, ever. That's like that. Even if I don't know, like, I guess I would just say I have like a really bad gaydar. I don't really fucking care.
I have a pretty good gaydar.
I just like talk with people and I don't really care.
Yeah.
So it's never in my mind wondering.
Maybe if it's a girl, she just wants to know if you're gay because she likes you, but she doesn't want you to be gay.
Did we talk
'cause she
about that
wants
a
to-
while back?
I don't
Or
think so.
maybe I was talking to somebody else about that.
But maybe she's like, oh, if he's gay, then there's no chance. But maybe he's not gay, so then he likes me. You know, like, so maybe she's asking because of that reason, not like to actually make fun of you. But
she's just trying to test the waters, and in that sense, like, maybe that's why we get it so often.
Yeah.
Like, should I continue?
guy.
He's really cool, but I just want to make sure he's like into girls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could be.
Could be.
Who was it? I think my friend Hannah thought I was gay at first. I'm like, dude, I mean, it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't bother me most times, but if like you said, if I get hit with it a lot, then I'm like, fuck, dude, am I presenting something wrong? Because I'm like, I'm definitely not gay.
Yeah.
But I am stylish and I like to have a nasally voice and I like to talk a lot about dicks.
I get complimented from men all the time too, and I like that just as much. Like, it doesn't. So like,
Yeah.
if some guy tells me that he thinks I'm really cute, like that, I appreciate that, and it doesn't weird me out. I'm like, fuck, thank you, Sergio.
Yeah.
You know, I love you too, man. Like,
I know Sergio is gay. That's funny.
yeah, me too.
Also, I feel like that's not a gay thing. That's a ego thing. Like, we all like our ego stroked.
Well, then that's probably what it is for me, because any kind of compliment,
Yeah.
I thrive on fucking words of affirmation.
Dude, it could be a grandma that compliments me. I'm like, oh. Like, it doesn't mean I like grandmas. It means I like the compliment.
I love.
I mean, I love grandmas, but I want to fuck them. I just like that. Like, they're
Yeah.
good.
Well, they make good pastries,
They do. And they knit good sweaters.
good conversations.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I like when the grandmas come into Sturman's and smoke some cigars and hang
Ooh.
out. Granny's getting down. Get them out on the
Dude.
dance floor for some Neil Diamond.
Yeah.
Let me see some moves.
Dude, I guess I could give some channies to grannies.
Hey man, YOLO.
Dude, this granny one time, I was back home in Pennsylvania. I mean, she might have been like 70s, 80s. And she was out on the dance floor. And I was like, look at this sweetie. And I was just getting down, dancing with her. And I was pretty drunk. And I was with, my sister and brother and Cinda were home. And just dancing around. I'm like, dude, this is fun. Like, just showing her a good time and just having a blast, like, back in my hometown. And then there's this point where I was like, man, this granny's just like a little flirty. But whatever. And Cinda's, I forget exactly how it went, but all of a sudden we're just like, oh no, she's trying to fuck.
Yeah,
she's not just being like, oh, you're so fun. Like,
she sees an opportunity.
Take me home. And I was like being super sweet to her. And then I was like, oh, if she wants to get down. And I was like, oh my God, Granny Wilson. Holy shit.
Were you tempted?
No. Maybe. I don't remember. Maybe I was.
I'm trying to think of the oldest person I've ever kind of been into. Oh, here's the story. I was buying some deodorant in the mall. And this chick, she's like, I think she might be like Russian or something. And it's just quick, so it's hard to tell, but like she's got a vibe and she's like old, way older than my field of interest.
Yeah.
But she has a vibe. And when she like goes to like check me out, she like gives me this sting. And dude,
Check you out like
it was hot.
Purchase the thing or actually check you out like
simultaneous, 2 in 1.
Yeah.
And I had this crossroad moment in my mind where I was like, should I lean into this for just a moment for both of our joy, or should I just like? But I was like, I was feeling it, so I was like, dude, I'm gonna like lean into this for a minute. And she like gave me my shit, and she's like, yeah, I hope you have a wonderful day. And I was like, I forget what I said, but like I made a moment where like I kind of just like locked eyes with her, and I felt like she told me stuff that I didn't want to hear. She's like, back off, motherfucker. She's like drawing me into like.
How old do you think she was?
Like 60.
Okay. Have you ever
ish? But she was really gorgeous, honestly. She had a vibe, so it is what it is.
Have you ever been to Capri? It's a little diner on Fairview.
I feel like I have.
There's this like Ukrainian Russian, I'm not sure which. I think she's the owner's wife.
Okay.
But she has to be like 50s. She's hot.
She's got a vibe.
She has a vibe and she serves there and stuff. And she's like, damn, I'm not into like girls that are older than me that much, but
sometimes energetically though, someone's got a vibe and you're like, oh.
Yeah, we get down.
You connect.
Yeah.
You're like, we should do something about this connection.
Dude, you know what? I realized
at least you're not being an incel. Oh.
Dude, speaking of. Oh, also I was gonna say,
but for
real quick. You know the vibes you give me right now is Jared Leto.
Fuck, I'll take it.
Yeah, dude.
Come on. I got a couple weeks ago. I got Momoa.
Oh yeah,
and that made me kind of hard.
Yeah,
for a brief moment, I was
Momoa
so
is
thankful.
dope.
I was like, dude, I'm so scrawny compared to this man.
Yeah. Yeah, I think just like the long hair, the glasses, the like slick this up, like the nice beard. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's like.
Should I keep this look? Do you think?
That's
should I put my hair up?
I like it.
Sometimes I like to wear it like.
I mean, you have options. Sloppy. That's what I mean. You have some options, right?
Dude, I'm a Viking. No.
Dude, I think we should create a course for incels.
I'm a Viking. We should what, dude?
Create a course for incels.
Okay, let's start.
I mean, I feel like they probably already have courses, but the problem is a course.
Oh, I thought you meant like in a song. I was coming up with a melody.
Yeah, that is.
Get out there, do it.
Stop being celibate.
Yeah. Aren't you sick of it? Being celibate. So full of shit.
Aren't you tired of your hand? Don't you understand?
Doesn't always have to do the job. Even though you know you love the throb.
Oh shit. Chorus for incels. Oh, I meant course.
We've all been there.
Dude, we have.
We've all been incels. So you don't realize it until you realize.
Well, I don't know if everyone's been an incel because there are some of those guys where I'm like, you've definitely never been a week without being laid. You know, you just see that guy, you're like, oh yeah, this guy's getting laid.
It's leaking testosterone.
Yeah.
It's almost concerning.
Yeah, it concerns me because he took 3 of my girls.
It is, yeah. I'm like, homie, come on, man.
Homie, man, share some.
Give me that Momoa. Come on, dude.
Yeah, Momoa's definitely ever been not laid.
Dude, it sucks. Like some lovely people I've met over the years, like they're like the best people in the world, but they're not getting.
Dude, I heard this.
But they claim they can, but I don't know.
I heard this thing actually on the news the other day. No, that's not true. It was on a podcast, but they were talking about the evolution of male, like how many people get laid And it was like it was like 30% or 40% of men like haven't been laid in the last like 2 years or something. Like, and I forget the exact statistic, but it's like it's like a big problem in society. Where there's
Some
like
guys
this
hold all the
huge
cards.
portion of men that just aren't getting laid anymore. And there's a lot of factors that like
Too much porn.
flow into it. I mean, yeah, like it could be. I mean, I've heard a ton of different people talk about like, oh, well, you know, there's this reason or there's this reason. But regardless, there is a big problem with like guys that I think a lot of it has to do with porn or the internet, like the anti-socialization. You know,
I think that's more.
yeah, it's just like people like especially younger generations, they just like grow up on their phone that like they know how to use Facebook, but they don't know how to interface like in public.
Yeah.
And then I do think there's a change of dynamics, you know, like the women have jobs, women have careers, and that's not a bad thing. To me, it's not a bad thing. However, I think still women don't want a guy that does less better than they do. So then if you have like a lot of women going to college and earning more and graduating and becoming like better, and you have these men who are like, yeah, fuck, I haven't figured it out yet. I don't have a car and I work in a kitchen and I'm trying to hit on this hot girl who has, you know, like that hot girl isn't going to be into them because they're not offering, like women typically would expect a man to still have like resource and value.
Or that almost makes them sound bad, but I hear what you're saying, but I even like add to that, like not that they have to expect that, but that's like, it's just
come standard.
Yeah. Like, that's not what it's about, but that's like the package deal to begin with.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll put myself like, well, reverse the roles for a second. Like, I don't know if I would have to love someone's soul to like jive with like different like lifestyles, I guess. I don't know. That sounds shallow as fuck. But like, I don't know. Never mind. Actually, go back to the guy thing because I feel like that makes more sense.
Well, I
like,
just and I don't know if this is actually.
I don't want to sound shallow by saying any of this, but we're just discussing these thoughts.
Yeah,
so
I don't think you sound shallow. I'm pretty shallow anyway.
I think that sometimes honesty sounds shallow because it's not being sugar coated.
Yeah,
and I respect that. I put my foot in my mouth a lot because of shooting from the hip.
I just think that, yeah, I mean, I like shooting from the hip because, like, for example, comedy, that's when you find the best comedy.
Where does it come from? Without judging.
Jump. Yeah. And then the only reason why you wouldn't do it is if you judged it. You're like, oh, what is somebody else?
Oh, that's mean. Yeah, exactly.
But I'm a pretty liberal guy. But I think that men and women exist in a more like, I think traditional roles still exist. As far as like, I think most women want a man that is a man that takes charge, that is a caretaker, that is a, you know, like provider of sorts, especially if a girl wants a kid. Like, oh, like, well, I want to raise a family. Like, I know a ton of girls like, yeah, I want to raise a family. So, like, they don't want a guy who can't support that family, right?
Yeah.
Or what I'm saying is that's how I kind of see that, like, even in the 21st century, I still feel like that traditional role exists in a lot of social dynamics, is what I'm saying.
I think it does. Like, well, let me paint it in a way like that makes it make sense to me. Like, if I am into said girl and she's a woman of beauty, high value woman who's got a good career, who knows what she's about, she's got a good diet, good fitness, goals, great friends. She's got a car, lives on her own maybe.
Yeah.
All these little things kind of just like, these are like subconscious like level ups.
Yeah.
But if I'm going for like somebody of like high value, or that I esteem, or at least see as high value, in my mind, I know that there's at least 20 or 30 other men, at least, even in the smallest setting.
At
That's a
least.
low number. Hundreds, could even be maybe a stretch, but hundreds, thousands maybe.
30s would be like the absolute low.
Yeah, no, like everyone wants this girl.
Yeah.
She can't go buy peas at the grocery store without being checked out in the frozen section.
Yeah.
Like, because it's not her fault. It's just, that's the effect she's having.
Yeah.
So that means that she has so many fucking options.
Yeah.
As she should.
Yeah.
They hold the fucking cards. We all hold our cards, but it's different cards.
Right.
Then I can't feel bad for myself if I'm not winning just because of my personality.
Yeah.
And that should be the number one. I do believe like you should connect on a soul level. I don't care. I really don't care about stuff like career or status or how much fucking money you have or you want to make. Like that stuff is like add-on to me. Or it's interesting stuff, but I care about like core beliefs or like vibes, connection and energy.
Right.
I don't fucking care. Like I don't care if like personally, if I meet some amazing vibe girl, and then I find out she works at Jack in the Box or something like that, or she's like a janitor at a school, I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
Because at least she's working.
Right.
I try to keep it really, really light there. I don't want to place like that kind of shit on people.
Yeah,
but I feel like we have it a little bit harder because of the options thing, maybe. I don't know.
Well, so yeah, exactly. So like it doesn't matter to you as much if she works at Jack in the Box, but it probably matters to her more if you work at the Jack in the Box.
Because the other 40, 50 people into her have their own businesses.
Jack in the Box.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one of the things that I was going to bring up, so say for example, that same girl, because I do think that personality is one of the most important things. I think there's a couple important things. Like you could have like a really good personality and be a liar. Well, then you would just shoot yourself. Like some people don't want a liar. Actually, everyone says they don't want a liar. But like you could have a great personality and you could lie through your teeth and you could ruin your shot because you're a fucking liar. Like, so you can't do that, right? Like, so there's that. But I think that if you're going after, say, a 10, this girl has 1,000 options, and you're one of her options. You think you're the only guy with a good personality? Like,
no.
Like, say 10% of that 1,000 is a good personality.
Yeah.
Well, now she still has 100 guys to choose from. And so if you're going to be like, oh, well, my personality is so good, like, of course she'd want me, but like, she's like, yeah, but you work at Jack in the Box, and this guy has an amazing personality as well, rivals yours, if not better, and he's more honest.
And he's vegetarian, or you're like there's so many
she starts
little
checking
things.
off all these other like boxes. Like it's not enough just to be like, well, my personality is pretty good, so I think about myself, so that means I deserve the best of the girls. I'm like, no, it's still not like you think your personality is good enough, but you haven't but what about maybe you have a funny personality, but you don't have any ambition. And all you do is complain, or you say, for example, you never listen. Like I could have a great personality, but if I don't let you share your personality, and every time you share, I'm like, no, let me tell you something. And then I interrupt you and I tell you, well, like, it doesn't matter how good my personality is because I just interrupted you every fucking time. So
you're exhausting.
I'm exhausting you.
Yeah.
So then she finds another guy who has an amazing personality, but also listens
has good
to
conversational
her.
skills.
So like it's only one little. I mean, it's not one little thing. It's important. It is important, but it's not the only thing that's important.
What bothers me is when people won't change their game.
Yeah.
I had to change my game so fucking hard. In little ways. Not stuff that went against my character, stuff that makes me feel better about myself.
Yeah.
Getting a new car, running my own business, getting a workout plan, having a healthy diet. Like these things are for myself. They make me feel better, but like they actually do work.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's just like, I feel like I do know actually but it feels intense to say. But it's like, you can't sit there and complain about not getting laid or not falling in love and express to me at the same time that you are the chief lover in that you have all the qualities, but it's their fucking fault.
Yeah.
Now you're being an incel. You're being this little dude sitting back, being mad at me and Josh for having options or and not, you know what I mean, or being players, or it's like, no, we're not being players. We're just like getting to know people. Like, I don't know. It's frustrating to me because I have actually had people kind of lash out at me.
Yeah. If you were to take it back to even a friend level, like if you have a friend that complains about somebody else who has more friends than them, you know, like, and so they're sitting in these, I don't know why anyone doesn't want to hang out with me. And all they talk about is why don't they want to hang out with me? Like, I have things to say. Like, I learned a lot of things and stuff. I have stuff to offer. Like, that's a person, like, that's a friend. I'd be like, yeah, cool, man. Like, yeah. Like,
if you have to say it, then it's not there.
Right.
Yeah.
I actually met this guy once. He was talking about how he didn't have any friends. I was like, man, that sucks. And he just kept talking. And I was like, dude, that sucks. And then after about half hour, I was like, oh, I see why you don't have friends. Because you are so abrasive with your communication and you're just constantly talking. And then you're just as soon as somebody's like, hey man, let's put on some music. Why do we need to put on music? Shouldn't we just be hanging out? And he just corrected everyone. I was like, oh, now I get why you don't have friends. So the more that you talk about all the things that are why the reasons you don't have friends, the more people aren't going
you're enforcing it too to yourself.
You're not listening to people. You're not understanding that other people have things to say too, or other people have different of opinions or different things they like. So that's what I take back to somebody who if they can't talk to a girl, then they get frustrated and then they start complaining. I'm like, well, no girl wants a complainer. So what are you gonna do? Start complaining the second you meet a girl? Well, then that's not gonna be good. And then the guys that want to help you, you just tell them, they're like, oh, well, you're just being an asshole. And I don't like how you do things. Well, I'm just trying to help you, bud. And if you don't like it, that's fine. But I'm the one who knows how to talk to women and you don't. So do you want to stay in this rut or do you want to move outside of it?
I have friends that tell me, when I laugh at them when they say this, because I don't think that it's true. It's just not realistic. But they're like, you could fuck anybody you want in this bar tonight. You could take any of these girls home. And I laugh and I'm like, bullshit, dude. That's not even realistic, dude.
70%.
Yeah, maybe 95. But the whole thing is, so they'll say that, which I would say qualifies my game.
Yeah.
From their perception, even though I'm like, dude, you got this weird idea about who I am. Yeah. That's not even my goal, dude. I'm just trying to fucking shoot some pool.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then the worst part is the same friends. God, I keep saying friends. I'm not trying to shit on my friends. Everyone's my friend. First of all, I love these people.
Yeah.
I don't want to sound like I'm sitting here bashing people for struggling.
You want them to be better.
I want them to fucking get it, dude. Yeah. I want them to get what they want.
Yeah.
So I always, once I know they think that about me, I'm like, well, that feels kind of good. Okay, maybe I'll give you a little chunk. I'm not going to give you unsolicited advice, but 3 or 4 drinks in, we've been shooting a few games. Now you're opening up to me about your stuff. And I'll be like, okay, dude, do you mind if I give you an idea? And they're like, yeah, go for it. I'm like, okay. You should just walk over there and introduce yourself.
Yeah.
Classic, right?
That's classic.
Come on, have you ever tried it, bro? That's not my style. I'm not the kind of guy to just go barge into some woman's night and introduce myself. I'm like, all right, buddy.
Yeah. Do you know what your style is then?
What the fuck?
That's what, we talk.
What is your style?
So your style is not talking to girls ever and not ever meeting somebody that you want to meet.
And then being mad at them for being bitches.
Wait, are you being mad at them?
Because they don't like you?
Come over to you?
Dude, oh, you want a sweetheart? You want the silent kind of old-fashioned girl? That's the kind of girl you want. Go talk to her.
Yeah.
That's not my style. Oh, yeah. Well, she's definitely going to get out of her seat and come over to you and the guys and break into your night.
That is such a crazy thing.
It bugs me because then they're like, well, we just have different styles, or you're negging them. And I'm like,
you know what's...
Don't make fun of the way I just interacted with this person.
Yeah.
I actually was making fun of them to have fun. Like, I don't know.
No, I was being silly.
Yeah, I was being silly.
Yeah,
I was just being like a little boy.
Yeah.
Like, pink, pull your pigtail.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good example.
Pull the pigtail.
Dude, it's crazy too because I know this firsthand because I was that guy that was like, it's just not my style to like go over and talk to them.
No, I'm not gonna do it.
I would make every excuse under the sun. Like, I mean, dude, I didn't get laid till 23. I couldn't even talk to women through probably 25, 26. I think you know the same like story.
Very similar
upbringings.
Religious upbringing, super core values.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of shame around sex. A lot of walls to break down.
So, like,
a lot of walls to break down.
When you go to meet someone, you're like, man, I would really love to meet that girl. But like, you just come up with all the excuses in the playbook. You're like, oh, she's with her girls. Oh, like she doesn't want to be interrupted. This would never work. She would never like a guy like me. Like, I mean, you could just go through the fucking ringer. You can make all the excuses.
Yeah.
But then, like, dude, sales taught me a lot with this, where it's just like, dude, yeah, of course, there's going to be girls that don't like you. But, like, how do you know that there's going to be a girl that it does like you? And how would you know unless you went and talked to her? So what's the best way to find the girl that likes you? Talk to as many girls as possible.
Yeah.
So talk to 20 girls. One of them.
Do it. One of them.
One of them will like you. Or what if you're a 1 in 50 guy? Well, then that means you need to go talk to 50 girls. And then you're going to find that one girl who's just like, oh my God, this guy's such a like cute little sweet. You could tell he was so nervous when he talked. Like, dude, I know girls who have been approached by really nervous guys. And I'm like, dude, that guy's approach was dumb. And they're like, it was cute, and they loved it.
Because he was vulnerable.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're too proud to like get outside of your comfort zone, I don't know. Fuck, it should just be fun.
Yeah.
It should just be fun.
Yeah, dude. I mean,
and I'm like you said, I'm the same. Like, that was like such a late bloomer and had a lot of shit to get over.
Dude, there was this one guy, I think I told you earlier, but he was just like, dude, I wish that I had the confidence that, like, I wish I could, like, be like Josh. Like, I don't have that kind of confidence. I like, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, do you just think I was born with this? I was like, dude, this took me 10 years. And I'm still, like, I'm pretty confident, but I'm not as confident as I could be. But, like, this guy was saying, he was just like, yeah, it just comes naturally to Josh. And I was like, that is so far.
That's like when people blame talent for musical work.
Yeah. When they see you play, like, dude, he's so talented. Like, dude, do you know the hours?
Do you know how fucking bad I was when I first started? If I was talented, maybe I would. You should say, instead of you're so talented, is you're so OCD that you couldn't handle not sucking. Like, you had to keep trying. Or
I always like to, as a person who understands the work, I like to compliment like people who are talented. Like, dude, you are amazing. I can tell
so much work.
I can tell you work so fucking hard to get where you are. And that's why I try to compliment now.
That's the best
because I know that it is true. Like, I know that you didn't get those fingerstyle things overnight. Like, I know you worked thousands of hours on it. So that's the same. So, like, dude, do you think that it's just easy for me to talk to girls because it just happened?
No. And actually, I forced myself for years, probably like you, like, so Mystery, it was this, I read this like 10 or 15 years ago, and I'm sure a lot of people have read his stuff, but my buddy, Josh, that I grew up with in high school, we were in bands together, like, he was like, hey man, I read this book, like, it's very short read. He's like, I don't think you're into this kind of stuff, but you should read it. He was probably kind of doing one of those little, because he knew that I wasn't getting anything. Let me help you a little bit. And I like Josh's tenacity. Like, I was like, all right, dude, you know, not a different Josh. Like, I'm
Not me?
No, you forgot? No. No.
Don't you remember when you gave me that book?
You don't remember? It was a PDF, bro. I don't remember. It was just like,
dude, I've given some friends PDFs.
dude, that's a nice gift. But yeah, I don't know. He sent it to me and I read it and I was like, dude, this makes a lot of sense. He talked about like tribal stuff, like so the whole going real fast, like he talked about things like pre-selection, fear of rejection, being a leader of men, a willingness to emote, like key things that make you desirable to a woman of value. And oh God, where am I going with this? I lost my fucking train of thought.
Picking up women, being just being confident.
Oh, the excuses. That's where I'm going with it. So like the rationale that your brain will, like you were saying a few minutes ago, it pitches out like, oh, she's with her friends, I don't want to mess up her night. Yeah. That's fear-based.
Fear-based.
Or like basically Mystery says like his whole thing was like all of these stem back to a tribal thing. We're on outdated hardware. Like basically over the last few hundred years, we have like hundreds of thousands of people, millions of people. Like we're back in the day, you're in a tribe and like there's like 60 women in the tribe. Right. Half of them have their husbands, half of them are old. Yeah. Widows, half of them are like little girls. So there's like maybe 8 to 12 viable candidates. Yeah. Single maidens, you know? Right. And the fear of rejection is the root of the fucking problem. And that's the part that bothers me the most. I don't care what you prefer or like, and I'm not a professional, but I just like learned that when you just like, and I do think that I'm lighthearted enough and goofy enough to where it was easy for me to adapt this frame of going for it. Like, but like, if you're all these reasons that people won't do or change their game is fear-based. Yeah. And you can't, it sucks because you can't really talk to somebody unless they want to know.
Well, dude, and it's like that shit goes also, we talked about
fucking fear.
We talked about it with business. And so one of the things that helped me get over it was sales. And sales has a lot of applications to women, but like, cause I was terrified I did phone sales, pick up the phone. I'm like,
I would hate that shit, dude.
It sucked. And I will never say it didn't suck. It sucks so bad. Yeah. But it helped me get over fear of rejection because when you get somebody says, no, why are you calling me? Why are you calling? Like, call again.
You're like, ouch,
again.
Ouch.
Like, so then it's just like, oh, those pains stop hurting. And so like the fear of rejection does stop a lot of people. But when you realize that, oh, the only way to get to success is to get rejected over and over and over. Now. And like when we were talking, it's the same with money and business. You're like, oh, you're afraid you're not like, you don't want to start the business because what if you fail? You're being rejected by your peers. Those fears are still the same.
It's the exact same fear of rejection.
People back, like from doing the thing that they want to do.
They don't want to be weeded out.
Playing the music, like I don't want to play the music in front of people. What if people don't like what what if they don't think I'm good enough? Fear. It's
fuck
fear,
that shit.
Fear. Yeah. So
it's not about the girl. It's not about the job. It's about the fear. Mm-hmm. Get rid of the fucking fear.
And the only real way to do it is to just fucking tackle it head on.
You have to address it. Oh.
Like, I'm just gonna do it anyway. Fear is almost like the door in front of everyone that says, "Hey, do you want to walk into enlightenment? Yeah. Open me. Yeah. Like, I know you don't want to twist the handle. Yeah. But once you do, I'm no longer closed. Like nothing's like you've beaten me. Yeah. Like, actually, I don't want to. I know, like, I'm free flowing with this, but like, and we're free flowing, but like. Let's transition that into music and business. Yeah. Because it's not about, I don't think it's just about getting the girl. That's like a very surface level, it's a topic for sure. Actually, but it can lead, I think it leads into any area of life. Okay. So speaking of, can we talk about the music thing, about like a musician's fear of putting something out?
Yes.
But I have to pee really quick.
I have to pee too.
Okay,
Are
cool.
we gonna take a break?
Yeah. Let's take a break and then we'll like finish and we'll talk about this.
Nobodies.
it's very rare that you talk like this on a camera that you know that is going out there. So it does make you think about the words that you say.
Yes.
Like, which isn't a bad thing. Like that's probably how you should view your, like, oh, the words I say, like, could...
It makes you a better speaker.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
You're like, wait, what am I saying? Am I saying the things that I want to say?
What's my message?
Exactly. But what I will say, too, is, like, everything that we've said so far, like, the thing, like, what I realize about being a genuine human is, like, for example, when we talk about the guys that we want to help that are incels, like, yeah, we don't want to name them, but, like, we do want them to know this. So it's a matter of, like, framing the conversation, be like, hey, we struggle with this, but I really wish that, like, my friends would be able to learn that this is this and this is this, right?
Yeah, so let's just say we're rolling right now, right?
I mean, we're not, like, I mean, unless you want to.
It's such a good place to start off.
Okay,
yeah, continue what you meant, though.
Okay,
like,
yeah, let's just
speak. I think it is actually important to close the top with some encouragement.
Okay.
Maybe, like, first off, I'm not fucking Ron Jeremy. Or I'm not, like, you know what I mean?
Wait, you used to fuck Ron Jeremy?
Yes, but we are in a. It's been a while. No. There was circumstances,
circumcisions, and circumstances.
Some motherfucker told me that I looked like Ron Jeremy one time, and I was fucking. If you're listening to this, fuck you.
Were your pants off?
No, but I passed out in my underwear. I was laying like, oh shit! I think I just fucked it. 1 second.
What if I, like, poke a hole in the larynx and put the mic up in there?
This may cause a bit of discomfort.
Welcome to Nobodies.
I know my system hasn't been working. I'm willing to make changes. Okay, so yeah, we are not fucking experts. I'm not an expert. I'm just talking about my personal experience.
Oh yeah. Okay, so one of the things, yeah, I mean, like, when we're talking about stuff, especially, like, I feel like some of the subjects that we, like, if we're talking about a friend that does this or that, I'm like, dude, the reason why I want to help that friend is because I've been in that situation. Like, I personally,
you've worked through it,
have, like, been a person that, like, no, like, I don't think that everything in life, like we wanted to shift subjects to music, but just to like lounge on this one more second. Not everything is about the girl or the, like, for a girl, the guy, but we are all humans and we are all programmed pretty much to find a mate or find the opposite sex attractive, right? For the most part, you know?
Well, yeah, it's just like classic.
Yeah. So as a human, as a kid who never had a girl interested in him, starts getting to you as I turned 16, 17, 18, to be like, I was that person into my mid 20s. So when I, like, so now when a guy, like, sees me, like, dude, Josh is able, like, Josh is a player, or Josh is, like, has all the confidence.
The womanizer.
Yeah,
do you get that, like, ever?
Dude, all the time.
I fucking hate that accusation.
I'm just like, women like me, but because I learned how to understand women and appreciate women and attract women, and it was something, like, I never could do before. And so, especially, what I hate is when people are like, it just comes easy to you.
I know.
And I'm like, no, it did. Like, it didn't come easy to me ever. I just sat in my room and sulked. I get it. Like, I remember, like, just feeling, like, watching a couple at a distance and be like, man, if I could if only ever I could find a girl that could. And then you start, like, dude, that guy's such a douche. Look at that guy. Like, that girl likes him.
That's the incel nature. Yeah. You start picking people apart because you don't have what they have.
Yeah.
You hate rich people because you're poor.
Yeah. And so that's, it was such a, like, and so I'm so happy to, like, have grown. But it's taken years. I mean, dude, I'm almost 40.
I'll never stop trying. And then the problem, I think people get in relationships and they think they've bagged it. And then the romance dies after 2 or 3 years because they get fucking lazy. And that's the whole thing. I read a lot about this stuff because I'm really into this topic because, similar upbringing, and like listening to experts has changed my life. And I didn't have to change a lot of things. I just had to be aware about a couple things and then be willing to like stop.
And I've known you since before you read and after. You've never changed your personality.
No.
You've never changed who you are. You've never changed Joe as at the core.
If anything, I'm leaning more into it.
Yeah. How do you feel though about like, because I've read a lot about relationships. I've read a lot about picking up girls. I've read a lot about sex, like how to be better at all three. Yeah. And I've been made fun of, like, you read books about how to be better at sex. Like, you fucking nerd.
No, I mean, I don't know. That's not nerdy. That's like, sex is a very important topic about being alive.
I've always not bragged, but kind of bragged because I was just like, dude, it's a skill set. And the only reason I got better was trying and learning. But a lot of people, like if you were to talk to a random friend and be like, hey, why don't I give you this book? It'll help teach you how to be better with women. They'd be like, that's not the type of guy I am.
That's not me, dude.
Yeah, that's not me.
I'm more natural.
Yeah, I'm more of a natural lover.
Oh, so you don't like history? You don't like Kama Sutra?
Yeah.
Oh, you think all this stuff is just...
Oh, you think you already know all about it, even though you've... how many girls have you been with?
I want to be personally, I want to be an expert.
Me too.
I want to please the woman that I'm with.
Even when and you can bring that to a relationship. Like, do you want to be good at a relationship? How do you get good at a relationship? You learn about it and you try it and so first off, you learn the better ways to do it, which is why I've read books on relationships.
And like social dynamics.
Mm-hmm, social dynamics. For example, even the 5 Love Languages is such a good book to learn about how to deal with somebody.
It gets you thinking.
And but that's like a lot of people have read the 5 Love Languages. I'm like, oh yeah, this makes sense. But then I'm like, oh, but if I say learn this book about sex, they'll be like, that's over the top. I'm like, why? I'm like, I wanted to get better at relationships, so I read the 5 Love Languages. I wanted to get better at loving my woman, so I read this book about how to love a woman. Any
medium. I want to get better at mixing down my vocals to sound pro quality. So I'm gonna listen to like Rick Rubin shit. I'm gonna listen to Chris Lord Alge. I'm going to obey them.
Yeah.
I'm not just gonna read the shit and think, yeah, no, my results are still meaningful to me. I'm gonna keep my shitty vocals.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna parallel compress the shit out of it and do some stuff.
And that goes back too to like what we were saying about
change it up.
I mean, even going into business, like I personally believe that everything is a skill set. Like talking is a skill set. Like I've learned this with this podcast. I thought I was decent at talking, and then I would listen back to it, and I'm like, holy shit.
Kind of notice certain things or...
Right. So you can get better at talking by practicing talking. You can get better at sign language by practicing sign language. You can get better at relationship by practicing relationship.
So you can get better at not approaching women by not approaching women.
Yeah. You're going to get real good at sitting.
Really good at it.
Dude, you're going to get so good at complaining. If you just keep complaining, you're going to get so good at complaining about how terrible life is.
I've begged some guys to just go, after like hearing them like tell me how much they feel about this person, even though they barely know them or whatever. Yeah. I'm like, please just I've listened enough. Like, please listen to me.
I have grown tired of your jibber jabber.
I will let's make a social experiment. Come on, let's have some fun. It's 12:40. I gotta get up early. Let's end this. Do me a favor. Walk over there and say, hi, my name is Mike. Or, hi, I'm Jim. And I was just wondering how your night's going.
Yeah.
Or that sounded weird, but you know what I mean.
I absolutely know.
Hey man, I'm Joe. How's your night going?
You know, Joe.
Or hey baby. No, I'm just kidding.
Dude, that's another thing that
hey baby, I'm Joe. What's your night like? That works every time.
So here's another problem with some of the guys that I know that was me and also is people. So like, what is an excuse that somebody like that would do? They would just be like, oh, you know, like they don't want to be bothered right now, or oh,
every other guy's gonna approach them.
Yeah, like they've already been approached enough tonight, so I don't want to do that.
I don't want to bother them.
Yeah,
and there's something to that actually.
I mean, I've used this excuse 1,000 times. However, what I am saying, this is another thing that bothers me about that mentality that I just thought of is like, so this girl that you're obsessed with is just an image of a girl. Like, what do you know about them?
Dude, yeah, she's your object. She's your little fantasy.
Don't even talk to her.
You don't care about what she likes. Or
maybe it's the bartender, and then you've only seen them perform.
Energy vacuums.
Right. And so I'm like, so why are you even so obsessed with her when you haven't even talked to her? You don't know. She could be a fucking cunt. She could be like somebody who likes...
horrible, mean person.
Yeah.
She might... Dude, there's so many different things.
Right. So the only way to find out, if like, so you like her. What you mean by you like her is you're infatuated and she's hot.
Or maybe her pheromone matches your pheromone. There's a vibe.
That's also another good point.
Like, what's about this girl?
But like,
most times it's just because they're hot.
But like, if you want to even remotely figure out if it's more, you're going to have to go take initiative. And what do you want? Like, do you want the girl to approach you? Unless you're a guy who really like, that's the only thing you want in life is a girl to approach you and take you. That might be your vibe. But most guys, like, especially the ones that like don't talk to girls, they still have traditional mindset. Like, I just want a nice girl. I want to have kids with her. I want to have like grow a family. I want to be like, you know, I'm like, cool. Well, then you need to go meet a girl.
But they want her to approach them. But then what happens is like, she approaches them and they're like, oh, she seems a little bit forward. Yeah, I want a sweetie. I'm like, dude, you're fucked, dude. Yeah. Stop being afraid. You know what? It's good to be rejected. I've been rejected.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dude, I don't care about it actually because I don't think about it that way. If you put that much stock in it to begin with, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. I'm playing foosball. You just walked into Mulligan's, dude. I don't know you from the fucking man on the moon, but I like your little choker and you're kind of fucking cute.
Yeah.
And you don't seem like you're 22, so we might be able to talk.
You know what?
But at that point, it's just like, hey, you don't have to like get them. I don't know. The people like go up to it like, are you going to agree for me?
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah, well, I mean, I do think that there is some like responsibility on girls because it's like to not shit on men completely.
This is the butthole. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to finger the butt. Why you put the trunk in your mouth? Like to not shit on men completely. Like I do think, like I have had some girlfriends that don't meet dudes. Like, they have their own problems, but, like, I've had girlfriends that all the dudes they meet are complete assholes, and then they complain about, oh, I only meet assholes. All guys are assholes. I've only dated assholes. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, but not all guys are assholes. Just the nice guy over at the corner of the room that tried to approach you that one time, you completely shut him down because he was nervous as fuck, and he stumbled over his words, and you're like, what a fucking dweeb. And you ignored him. And then you paid attention to
there are two roads.
Yeah, like, and so like there are times.
Cheers. I have a story after that.
That does happen like that, where it's just like, dude, I would encourage girls to give that nice guy that stumbled over his words and like had a little unconfidence a second chance because he actually is a nice guy. He just didn't have the balls to talk to you like this asshole that's practiced it a bunch of times.
Yep.
And like, I'm not saying all the nerds are sweet guys, and I'm not saying all the ballsy guys are assholes, but that does ring true in like stereotypes more than less. So give the guy a chance a little bit.
Fear, I guess. Like, I'm not gonna say it's not scary.
Yeah, it's fucking
because
terrifying.
Going back to mystery, his whole thing is like there's out of all the 60 tribal people, there's 12 candidates, or 10 maybe, and if you get rejected by her by fucking up when you talk to her, you're weeded out of existence.
Mm-hmm.
Your genes are gone.
Yeah.
You're done, dude. You're weeded. So like there's a biological necessity that enforces the fear.
Have you read Jordan Peterson's 12 Rules for Life?
No.
The first chapter is all about lobsters, and we have the same or very similar brains to lobsters. So he compares humans to lobsters and he makes all these correlations. And it's almost exactly that, where like alpha males and beta males in the lobster community, like the alpha male gets most of the lobster females. And the lobster, like the lobster males, like, you know how like in packs, like alphas will fight or they'll challenge like the main alpha. So in a lobster like community, like a lot of times they'll like get ready to fight. And a lot of them will back down because when a lobster fights, like you go to like whoever loses goes to bottom. Like it's not like UFC where you might stay.
Everyone knows you're the
10.
worst lobster.
Yeah. So like, and it actually changed the brain chemistry in a lobster. So like if another lobster challenges the main lobster and say the main lobster loses, their brain chemicals like shift and they're like, you're beta. And like, it just like completely pulls them out.
Fuck.
Or like,
and we're the closest to lobsters?
yeah. So it like, that's
Are you
to
serious?
that point.
Yeah, we still boil them live? No, I'm just kidding.
It's to take their powers.
Fuck you.
But yeah, so like to that point, like it is terrifying. Like if you do get rejected, especially say if you were rejected in public, like then you're like, oh, everyone saw that I was rejected.
The whole tribe's talking about it.
That means that I'm not worth like whatever. And so guys do carry that. And if you, that's where like you have to shift the whole mentality and be like, you know what? Being rejected is a joke. Like I'm just going to keep getting rejected. And I'm going to go for the hottest room. And I'm like, holy shit, that girl shut me down so hard. Like I grabbed her, like I touched her shoulder and I was like, hey, mister. And she just goes, no. And then I was just like, holy fuck. And I walked away. And then that's a funny story. And if I can take that rejection news on the like chest and be like, holy shit, that was crazy. Let me try again. Mm-hmm. Then you have like everyone's your oyster. Or lobster, as they will.
It's important to honor our desires. Like that was a big shifting thing for me. Is one like through some psychedelic journey, I came out of it realizing that I've been ashamed of the things that I desire.
Yeah,
that was the big psychedelic teaching.
Yeah,
and it changed me like deep within. I started adopting a new mentality to honor my desires. They exist for a reason.
Yeah.
It's a shame. It's a goddamn shame to desire something and then to just release it because of fear. Unless you're like desiring fucked up stuff. I don't need those arguments, but
yeah.
I one time got rejected so hard. I was talking with this girl like 4 or 5 years ago. Everything was like so good. Like I'm like, dude, this is so good. Like I didn't expect to meet this person tonight. She's super cute. And I'm like thinking all these thoughts and we're like shooting darts and she's like slapping me on the back. And I'm like, okay, vibes. And so then I go, or I grab us around. I bring her back, give her her drink. We're sitting there chatting. And I was like, hey, can I tell you something, please? And she's like, yeah, of course. And I was like, I just wanted to let you know, I think you're really fun to hang out with. And I'm very attracted to you. I think you're really cute too. And she sets her beer down and slaps me in the face so goddamn hard.
She slapped you?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. Everything was perfect.
And she just left?
It was, I could have, maybe I did something weird. I don't know. Yeah,
but she didn't say why she slapped you?
First off, it was probably maybe something that I did, but I don't think about that too hard. Maybe I was being insensitive about something she said earlier that I didn't hear because we were drinking. There had to be a reason, right? Maybe. Or
she's like, how dare you hit on me?
Maybe she's just a nasty ass bitch and just like, how dare you? And
I thought we were friends.
I thought you just wanted to play darts, asshole. Like, I don't know what she was thinking.
Dude, that's wild.
To your point, like, that was my favorite topic for the rest of the night. And I met so many girls with that opening line. Dude, do you guys know? Like, I'm grabbing a drink. Do you guys know what just happened to me?
Yeah.
Like, I just got slapped in the face.
Dude, I actually had one where this girl just like, because I went through a huge phase and I still think that I should do it, but it's just like when you see, it's kind of like what Chick said. When you have an idea, like he said, the main way to be successful
is do your ideas.
Do your idea. So it goes, it goes back to shout out Chick.
Shout out Chick.
But so it goes back, like, so I went through this phase. I read this book about like, if you have it, like the idea, go do it. It was a 5-second rule by this girl. She's like, you have to do it in 5 seconds or else you won't do it. If you think about something. So,
yes.
So she's like, oh, you want to go talk to that girl? Go talk to her. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Yeah,
like,
or else gone.
Yeah. And so, but like, it goes back to that principle. Like, if you have the idea to go talk to her, just go talk to her, because else you just get sit around and think about it and give yourself all the reasons not to.
And what's the harm?
So there's no harm.
Yeah.
And the worst that could happen is she slaps you and you have a good story.
Yeah.
Or the boyfriend comes in and is like, what are you doing with my girl?
And I'm like,
And he slaps you and then you have a good story.
Yeah.
Like either way, it's not really that big of a deal, right? Like
fuck around and find out.
I had this one, and that was during that season where I was like talking to a lot of girls, and I was like, dude, go talk to the girl, go. And I went over and I was like, excuse me. And this girl just turns around, she's like, no. And just,
yeah, and I know guys that would be like, this fucking bitch I just said excuse me, and she said no.
But I like went back to my friends and they already knew I was going. I was like, I'm gonna go talk to that girl. They're like, how'd it go? I was like, dude, she just turned around and said no. and then we all laugh about it. I'm like, holy shit.
Dude. Thrive on rejection. Thrive on no's. In the music world too.
Mm-hmm.
Idea after idea after idea after idea.
Yeah. And then like I learned in sales too. Like you try, say for example, how many ideas does it take to have a winning idea? Like you could boil it down to numbers. So say, for example, it takes 50 ideas to get one winning one. Well, then you better come up with 50 ideas. So you better start making the ideas. So they use this in sales, which is like, oh, we can boil it down to every person you ask. If you ask 20 people, you get one yes, like in a certain industry. So that means for every sale you make, you need to ask 20 people. So that means if you want to make 3 sales in a day, you better ask 60 people. Like it just boils down to finding the no's. So they call it finding the no's. So you just so you get excited about
you want to weed the no's out. You're picking weeds.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, you're trying to find the winner.
Let's get down to the
so you're like,
root, dude.
Excuse me, dude, this one sales guy he used to
fuck,
say
that's
this
good,
thing.
Dude.
He would say, he's like, last night I went out on the boardwalk and I tried to make he's like, I tried to make out with 10 girls and 9 of them slapped me in the face. And one of them made out with me. He's like, dude, it's a numbers game. But like we would do this in sales. He's like, so call every person, ask them, would you like to buy my product? No. Next. Would you like to buy my product? No. Next. So when it comes to like trying to meet a girl, like you don't use it the same. Like, hey, would you like to have sex?
Well, it kind of is. It's like, I'm my product.
Right. So instead, but like all I'm saying is like, you don't have to be so abrasive. Hey, excuse me.
Do you want to fuck?
Yeah. That's not what I'm saying. It's just like, but if you like, say you're a person who wants the fucking love of your life and you need to find 19 girls that don't want you to find that 20th that do, then you at least need to go up to 20 girls and say, hi, like, how's your night? I'm fucking Bernard. Like I don't really do this that often, but like, I just wanted to come meet you. You seem dope.
Yes, like I like your energy is a good opener. I found. It's so funny. Like openers are an interesting one. Mm-hmm. Most time, like I'm like, just go talk to her. What am I gonna say? Just go say.
Yeah, I'm just really like go wing it.
Here's a great word. The best word ever. H-I.
Yeah.
Hi. Or. Hi. Like, dude, that's so powerful. You see him? You little nod.
I agree.
Hi. Hi. What's your name?
I learned to just like go wing it. Like I was just like, dude, just go and say hi. Because
improv, dude. Yeah.
And even if you're not good at it, you didn't sit here and think about all the things you were going to say. Mm-hmm. You just force yourself into the situation and then you're like.
And you're not going to be great at it to begin with.
Yeah. And so then you can just be like, oh, fuck. That's like I've done this once. I'm like, hi. I was going to have more things to say. And that's the only thing I know. I'm not really good at this.
And then 3 months later, you guys are dating and yeah.
Yeah. Like something super simple. And then like, you're just like, yeah, just admit if you're like, oh, fuck, I'm nervous. I didn't realize how nervous I would get when I came over here, but I am now. So I'm Josh. I was just wanted to come talk.
Honor your desires.
Yeah.
Dude. You just honor it.
And then that's going to be cute to like for the girls. And they're going to be like, oh my God, this guy's adorable.
And man, you don't know. She might like girls. She might be in a relationship. She might have a couple dudes she's kind of like not sure about. She might. Yeah. There's so many things. So it's like not offensive.
Yeah.
And there's no harm. But then, we could take it way deeper than like that's the initial one. But the problem is like the obsession, and then like I think a lot of it does go back to lifestyle. I do believe that like it is my job, not just because I want a partner, a life partner. But for everything I want in life, I have to show up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want to have a successful music career.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not releasing songs or showing up and writing, then like that's just pie in the sky.
Yeah.
So like you have to put action in anything you want. Otherwise it's just like I wanted to figure out how to like make plants live. And it was the easiest solution. This is so weird, but like so many people are like so closed off to being good at stuff because their immediate answer is like, I suck at it. Plants is a good one. Yeah. They're like, oh, I suck at plants. I kill all my plants. And my question is to them, because I'm curious, and it's like, this is fun. All right, let's talk. How often do you water them? Well, you don't have a watering routine?
Yeah.
But you think you suck at plants and you think I mean, well, of course you do. Like, yeah. But maybe have a watering routine.
Dude, but that's what some of the guys that like don't have, like, for example, back to the women thing, like I was like, dude, I suck with girls. I'm like, yeah, no shit. Because you like haven't spent any time with women.
Practice.
And you have to practice it. I was thinking about that. Even if a guy gets a girl who's never had a girlfriend, you're probably gonna fuck up the first girlfriend, right? Yes. Like you've never had one. Like I always thought, I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna be the perfect guy, like my first girlfriend.
You learn so much about yourself.
I'm like, dude, like, how did you expect to be good at a relationship when you were never in a relationship? Yeah. So I royally fucked up the first relationship.
We all know how to be in a relationship with ourselves.
Yeah.
And we suck at that too because we listen to our brain making fun of us.
Yeah, that's true. We do.
And we are in a horrible relationship with ourselves. And then we think we can like find some happiness from this girl at the other end of the bar.
Yeah.
And then she says, no.
And then you find all your value in that 2-letter word that she just gave you.
It's a bad night, dude. Guys, we got to get some shots, man. She said no.
Yeah.
I'm like,
you're like, well, she's a fucking bitch anyway.
I would be like, you're right. Wait. I'm going to try to, like, let's reenact this real fast. You're the girl.
No.
All right. You're right. You know what? Or Eckhart Tolle says, like, this, like, Chinese proverb or something is like, is that soism? Yeah. So like, she's like, no. And I'm like, is that so?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then you just allow it to be. And you're like, okay, well, you know what? That doesn't diminish me whatsoever because I honor you. I love that you have the balls to look at me and say no.
Yeah.
God, that's hot. I wish you wouldn't have said that. I don't know if I'd go that.
Yeah, you're like, when is the last time you heard no in your life?
But guess what? No. No to your no.
Yeah.
Nobody makes me.
Dude, nobody makes me bleed my own blood. Dude, but like, so one of the things that like going like collecting no's, like if you were to talk to, I would say, okay, so speaking of incels and thinking of what fun ways maybe to help them out.
Yeah.
Like first off, to speak to that point, why don't you just make a game of it? Go to a random bar with them and be like, okay, we're going to have some drinks tonight. We're going to play some pool.
Or a coffee shop. Whatever they're comfy with.
Whatever, yep. You know, so but the goal of today is to get 10 girls to reject you.
That's a great goal.
Both of us. Like we're gonna get 10 girls to reject us.
If you don't get those reject lines, then you lose. You owe me $50.
Or you can make a game like who gets the most rejections.
Yeah. If you don't meet your rejection quota, you owe.
Yeah. So then you're just like, now like I see her over there. Excuse me, ma'am. I just wanted to say hi and you get like, and then you all of a sudden discover, holy shit, it's actually harder to get rejected than I thought because half these girls started to actually had a conversation with me when I said hi, and I was trying to get them to reject me, and they ended up talking to me for like 10 minutes, and then you realize, holy shit, none of this was as hard as I thought. I was just in my head about it this whole time, and I never approached because I thought all these things, and you realize all those things are bullshit. You just didn't go approach.
Fear.
Yeah, fear.
Fuck, dude. Like, even with like song ideas and stuff, like, I'm like, man, you know, dude, we should go try that some night. That'd
That
be
would
fun,
be
dude.
fun.
I'm down.
Who
Actually,
can
I
get the
could use
most
some
rejections
no's.
first?
Dude, I'll be pretty good at it. I could find ways to get rejected. Hello. My name's Joseph. What's your name? No.
I actually have a feeling that like girls would find those things funny and then you would end up talking to them and you're like, damn it, I was going to get rejected.
Well, that's taking it back to the playground, taking it back
You're having fun.
to the pigtail,
Yeah.
poke on the back, run. She starts chasing you around the swings and you're dying laughing and none of you guys know why, but it's because like you're the same. You just haven't become an adult yet. But it's the same when you date somebody. And that's I just went out the other night and I had the most fucking magic time with this girl. And like, it was all unexpected. And I felt like I was like 15 or something. And I live for that feeling.
We all like, ha ha ha.
Oh, did we just touch hands? Like, oh, like I love
Dude,
that
you are
shit,
like
dude.
you are a little, what do you call that?
A little romantic.
Yeah, you're a little romantic. You're like, ha ha ha, this little girl.
Shall we frolic?
Frolicking is exactly the word that.
Wait, that's a good opener. Hi, shall we?
Shall we frolic?
Will you escort me to the men's room, and then you can leave me be? Let's frolic and grab arms. They might biff you, but
And then you bring her into the men's room and fuck her over the counter.
right over the counter.
Yeah.
Slide. the
She's like, this guy's cute. And you're like, "Ugh.
You thought frolicking?
You thought I was a frolicker.
You thought puffing the magic dragon and frolicking in the autumn mist was? No, I'm just.
How do you get that low voice again that you do?
You thought puffing in the process. Hey, you want to frolic?
Dude,
Okay. I'm a piece of I hope nobody hates me. I hope nobody listening to this
dude,
hates me.
nobody listens to
I'm a good person.
these.
I'm a nobody.
These are all jokes.
Yeah, we made this up. Yeah, I'm proud.
Dude,
But no, this is stuff people think about. This is stuff that everyone deals with.
I was going back to before we peed. Speaking of all this and then music and business, it's so we were talking about like making music every day versus one of the things we talked about probably 2 weeks ago was how a lot of musicians and artists sit on ideas. So it's kind of like that incel sitting over there, like, yeah, but I just
Sitting on the
wanna wait for
fantasy.
the perfect, sitting on a fantasy. That's a really good phrase.
It's a good way to think about it.
Because like they're just like, oh, I just want this perfect setting until I talk to her, but it's all just fear. And so the same with a musician when they write a song, they're like, I need to get the drums right. I need to produce it the right way.
Yeah, I gotta let it season.
I gotta do this. And then they've sat on that song for 5 years
Ugh.
and no one's heard it.
I'm guilty.
Me too.
I'm guilty.
So that when we talked about this, so like the same way that guy just needs to go talk to 10 girls a night, the same way that musician needs to, instead of sitting there thinking about this idea that they're not going to like let gestate, they just make a song every day. They're just like, you know what? I'm going to write this song.
It's not going to be a masterpiece.
But I'm like, I'm going to write it. I'm going to put it out. Tomorrow, I'm going to write another song. I'm going to put it out. I'm going to write another song. I'm going to instead of just sitting there being like, nah, it's not going to be good until I get this one thing. Dude, I've sat on shit for like 8 years. And nobody's even listened to it. Yeah. And then all of a sudden you're like, okay, well, that song's not like, I've spent too much time with this, so I'm not even gonna, you know what? It's not worth my time anymore. I'm like, you just sat on it for 8 years and then you decided it wasn't worth it.
And that was a long time. That was worth it.
Yeah.
Did you tell me this or did Aaron Rodriguez tell me this about the photo experiment?
I did.
You told me about that. You told me. No, I think it was you. So like, there was like a month duration or whatever, and half the students were told to like, well, why don't you just tell me if you told me?
Yeah, I mean, you're on like a class, a photography class.
They had to take one photo versus a photo every day.
Half the class had to take one photo, and they were graded on that one photo. Mm-hmm. And the other
like the masterpiece photo.
Yeah, right? They were graded on a scale on that photo. The other half, their only requirement was to take one photo per day and submit it. And as long as they submitted a photo per day, they would get 100%. Like there's a pass fail. They just had to do the thing every day. And so fast forward to the end, who do you think had, like, apparently, according to the study, all the good photos were the ones that took a photo every day. There was like nobody,
Of course.
like the ones that just focused on one photo, like most of them weren't near as good as the ones that did it every day.
You know, the best shape I've ever been in my life is when I go to the gym once a week. I mean, once a month.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. But that's the idea. Like, if you just go to the gym every now and then, you will never fucking see any results, and you're going to hate it. Like, The Art of Discipline, Annie McKee actually has an album called The Art of Discipline, and it's life-changing acoustic music. But I love the title.
That is good.
It's good. I have to pee again.
Me too. We'll be right back.
Oh.
Dude, you look hot.
Do you have any suggestions?
Yeah, tilt your head to the left. Dude, Jared, I appreciate this opportunity.
Thank you for bringing me onto the podcast. Hey, we should do a little parody. Yeah. The name's Jared. Thank you, Joshua, for bringing me onto your podcast. 30 Seconds to Mars. And
Dude, it is crazy how long that guy's been doing me. Like, when you see a musician that's just like crushing it out for ages.
You know what I love? It's like, I feel like I can see it in anyone's eyes. I saw it in our friend's eyes today when we were having lunch. In Viet.
Oh yeah.
I saw it in his eyes. And I'm not saying I'm some seer, like I have, but I'm just telling you my experience. I see it in your eyes. I see it in my eyes sometimes when I look in the mirror, and I feel it in other people. And in the people that I see it in are tenacious, fucking conquering. Like they're willing to work, and I'm inspired by them.
Yeah.
My buddy James, down in wherever he is, Malaya, or I forget, South America.
Oh yeah.
Dude, these people, Chick, Ryan Sturman,
Yeah.
Adrian Ballou, Severo. There's like a glow. I'm just naming some homies, but there's so many people.
But that is also a belief in the homies too, which is.
There's like a glow in the eyes.
Yeah.
Here's a great example of the glow I'm trying to talk about. Is in Legends of the Fall, when Tristan rolls up on the horse. Have you seen Legends of the Fall? Are you fucking kidding me?
No.
Joshua!
I wish I had seen it so I could.
Okay, no, it's fine. I hate that feeling, but I'm going to tell you about it anyway.
Yeah,
so, like,
you should.
It's a story of like three brothers. And they're out in this like in the wilderness of Montana, I think. Like, and like there's one woman that's like engaged to one of the brothers. But, like, anyways, when Tristan rolls onto the scene, he like, beyond anything, he has this ability as an actor to like put on like a twinkle. And I think that's what he gets the money for.
Yeah. Because
like it's that thing that you see in somebody that's like confident, I guess. And I love confidence. I love confidence in anybody I meet, like it, because it inspires me.
Yeah.
Like you are what you eat. You're your closest 5 best friends. So like think about the 5 people you hang out with the most.
If I watch a lot of Brad Pitt movies, he's basically my best friend.
Dude, him and I actually, one of these days, we're going to have some tacos and.
Dude, you should put him on your vision board.
Brad, you're up there, baby. We're going to come on down to my studio. Let's get some of your vocals on a new track.
Dude, what if you were just
Brad,
sorry,
my pit.
Interrupted.
No. I don't know why I just said that.
What if you like did kind of design like a little animated short or something, but because you were such an outgoing guy, you like met Brad Pitt and you're like, hey man, like we just do the voice on my little animated short, and he's just like, yeah, sure, bud. And you just randomly meet Brad Pitt and you get him to animate your fucking.
I believe in stuff like that. I don't think that I know people of status and are very busy, and that's the biggest problem is their schedule and so that's why their time is so valuable. That's why they get paid so much for every appearance they make. But I do believe in charity and like people and like I don't know. I guess like I just believe in it. Like you just
me too.
you talk. If you're authentic, you are going to meet authentic people, and then money is just sort of a byproduct.
Yeah.
Everything else is sort. I'm saying this as a nobody.
That's true.
I'm only looking at my own life and my small successes. Very small, very, very small at this point. I have so many friends here in this city that are doing exactly what I'm trying to do, and they're nationally renowned. I haven't even like achieved the goal that I'm even after.
And I also think that you have, and I think myself included, but you have also a lot of people around you that are very successful financially. So you have creatively successful people around you, financially successful people around you.
Very, and it can be humiliating if you get in the wrong headspace.
Right, but instead, like it is humiliating. But like instead of leaving those communities and being like, "Oh, this is hurting me to be around it," you stay in it and you grow. And the thing is that like I do think it's only a matter of time until those things happen for the other right people that's supposed to happen for. And like I don't think the money solves anything.
No, I said it's a byproduct, right? Yeah, money, status, all this stuff's byproduct.
But I do think that like your average person that does really good work for a long time won't be hurting for money. Like I do think that eventually comes.
Yeah.
Like I'm still hurting for money, but I'm like, just stick to your craft, just to keep working hard. You eventually won't be hurting. Like
you're gonna look back on this podcast in 10 years and
and that was just part of the journey. Yeah, exactly.
It had to happen.
And so that's what I'm thinking about. Like when you wonder, I was talking about this just the other day with somebody where it's just like you wish you had it now, but if you got that, like say that opportunity now, like if I had the opportunity to have my dream podcast guest on my podcast, I still didn't have my mics right, or whatever. Like, so like I didn't dial it in yet. Like you weren't ready to have that person.
Are you ready for the woman of your dreams?
Right. Ooh, that's good. Going back to that, like, it's like, dude, these guys want this perfect girl, but I'm like, dude,
but what are you doing, dude?
You're not even ready for it. Do you have a car yet? Do you have like?
Can you take her? Or take her up to the foothills.
You don't even want to. You shouldn't even want to meet that perfect girl yet, because you're not ready. You'll lose her.
Don't you think that the most amazing person deserves you at least doing fundamental things? I'm so fucking sorry. I mean, I have pretty bad fashion. I dress weird. I have a goofy cat. Like my lifestyle's not like popular. Like that weirdo that was like, what would happen if Joe wasn't in the spotlight for 2 days? I don't even feel like that. I'm not in the spotlight. I'm gigging.
Yeah.
I have not gone close to where I've had some shows that I've opened for, but this is like, I can count this on like both hands and I can't even fill up all the fingers.
Yeah.
And I am gigging 3 to 5 times a week, playing while people are talking, stuffing their faces full. But I'm making a living doing it.
All right.
And I'm getting practice. Yeah. And it's easier to do what I want to do.
Yeah, that's just like somebody lashing out because they're jealous of somebody they think is in the spotlight.
They don't know. There's like, no, that's not spotlight. All my friends are the ones that are being famous right now.
Right.
I'm still trying though.
They're like, my buddy Ukiah,
I was thinking about him.
He just played a show with Blink 182.
Yes.
That's spotlight. But he could even be like, I'm not in the spotlight. I'm just opening for a band that they don't care about me.
If your idea is to be in the spotlight, you'll never get it. I hate the idea of a spotlight. Like, I don't think any of those people want it. I don't know if it's like Petey or Ukiah or Trevor, or I'm just thinking about like local people.
They just want to play music and they want to like have people hear it.
It's just who they are. Like, it's what they're doing.
Also, at every level, you're gonna meet a person. Like, I learned this. Someone was talking about this the other day, but if you're making $100K or $100 a day, and you meet somebody that makes $500 a day, you're like, dude, like, I can't believe you make $500 a day. Like, I only make $100 a day. Like, they're like, dude, you must have all the success. Like, you're the lucky one. You're the successful one. But then say you graduate to $500 a day. Well, then you're gonna meet somebody who makes $5,000, $1,000 a day. You're like, holy fuck! Like you're always just comparing yourself to the next level.
Yeah.
Which is how you somewhat get better, but in reality, it's like Ukiah has way more spotlight than you, but he's not sitting there being like, I'm in the spotlight.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, like he just is playing and doing him. And the only reason this guy who's saying it is because he doesn't have anyone that pays him attention or like that he thinks is valuable. And he's just like, oh, I just wish I had the life of Joe because he has the attention of all these people that I want attention from. And it's like a jealousy thing.
And my reaction to that kind of a question when it comes to me through the grapevine is like, I laugh. Yeah. And I'm like, that's a great question. What would happen if I wasn't in the spotlight for 2 days? I'll probably go up to the hot springs, microdose, and do a little camping trip with my friends. And just like that's the dumbest thing to ask.
I also personally, I like spotlight. However, I also
words of affirmation is my love language.
And I also am a people pleaser. So I'm not saying this is not something I should work on. I think that people pleasers need to learn how to not care so much how much people think. However, I know myself and I'm like, yeah, I definitely am a people pleaser. I want people to like me. But if I wasn't if I were in a position where I was in front of people every day and somebody's like, yeah, you can't have that anymore, I would still need to be around my friends every day. I can't be secluded. I can't go a week but being by myself. That doesn't mean I need to be on a stage, but it does mean I need to be around friends that love me. I'm just dude, these are my homies, or these are my girlfriends, or these are whatever.
Yeah. You just deconstruct the accusational what if, and it's his idea is I'm somebody that's in the spotlight.
Yeah.
That's a false idea of jealousy.
And he's also judging you for
making me seem bad because that's the career path that I've chosen.
Yeah.
But dude, I mean, what would happen? The whole time he was saying that shit, his t-shirt cuff said Jesus is Lord. And he's saying that stuff about me, and I'm like, dude, what would happen if Jesus wasn't in the goddamn spotlight?
Jesus was the most spotlighted human in...
Yeah, what would happen if he wasn't there for 2 days? Actually, he wasn't there for 3 days, bitch. I'm sorry.
That was good.
Come on, I had to.
That was really good.
I had to.
Actually, he wasn't there for 3 days, bitch.
He's like, I'm stepping out of the spotlight.
All for your sins, motherfucker.
I'm going to the darkness for you, motherfuckers. No spotlight now.
And then the devil's like, this is a spotlight.
He's like, welcome home, bitch. No, dude. I mean, that's a whole...
That is funny. Jesus was in the spotlight the whole time. Dude, he was in the Bible.
Hero, man. He's like, guess what, bitches? I'm Jesus. Oh, you got some water? How about wine?
Dude,
he was showing off from day one, dude.
Dude, this is one of the things when people give me shit about hanging out with strippers. I'm like, dude, your fucking Lord and Christ Savior spent time with prostitutes and sinners.
Day in and day out.
Why do you think it's a problem that I go to strip club? I'm just trying to spread the love of Jesus here. And they just want to be all pharisaical.
Actually, are you joking or no?
Both.
Yeah, okay, but
that's what I use against them.
I grew up knowing a dude that ran this spa shop, and he was a hero to me. I was a little boy, and my dad would go into the spa shop to get chlorine and stuff. And he's like, bro, he had a twin brother, bro, and he back in the day, we're talking 25 years ago, he would go to the Rhino.
Yeah,
and he was known as the Don. And his name would go across the ticker tape, a little shit. And he'd walk in, and everyone's like, on. And he would tell my dad, he's like, I'm doing God's work. And my dad used to bitch about it to the family when later on. He's doing God's work, but he's going to the strip club. We know what he's doing, kind of shit.
And he's no, Jesus went here too.
But his whole thing, Don's thing was he was extracting women that were in a hard spot of life. And he was he would give them $20,000 and give them a new house, and I don't really have
an opinion
that most likely But it's funny that you said I'm going in there and doing God's work because you reminded me of him.
That is funny. He's like, I'm doing God's work.
Hey, to each their own, like I always say.
Also, I don't know if Jesus wasn't having sex with them either. You know, like it does seem weird for a guy to hang out with a bunch of prostitutes and not have sex with them. So, you know,
dude, I think the
Bible might have excluded that part. Like, it didn't bode well for like the religion, but that doesn't mean it didn't happen.
I was thinking about this on my bike ride this afternoon, and it's like I've been out of this like religion for 20 years.
Yeah,
but it's like your roots are always kind of going to be there. But so even like today in my subconscious, I smoked a bowl and I went on a bike ride, and I'm like, oh, I wonder. God damn, I just lost my train of thought. We were talking Jesus
and prostitutes.
Fuck.
Thinking about it, smoking bowl. Damn it.
Oh well, probably not worth saying. No, it was something along those like I just wonder if.
Well, all I'm saying is, the other thing is, I don't think prostitution is a sin, because the Bible says Jesus hung out with prostitutes and sinners, so it differentiated prostitution and sinning.
Although when the woman who was caught with adulterous actions was going to be stoned.
Yeah, but were they going to be stoned by Jesus or go stoned by...
No, then he said, those who are without sin cast first stone. That's what I like about Jesus.
Yeah.
That's what I like about him. He's basically saying we are not allowed to judge each other.
Right. Yeah.
That's it. Like we are not allowed to fucking judge each other. Nobody.
Yeah, and there's that one about the beam in the eye.
But then
a good one too.
But he did draw the line in the sand, and then he looked at her and he goes,
"Go and sin
nor do I condemn you.
Sin no more.
Go and sin no more."
Yeah, but how did you know he was talking about prostitution?
This whole idea
Maybe he was saying don't
different...
steal anything from anybody else again.
I think it's all been religiousized. You know, I don't think that he meant like don't be bad. You're so bad.
Don't be a naughty girl.
Stop being so naughty. I think what he was saying is like, you know what? Take care of yourself. Like feed yourself for a while.
What if he's like, don't judge these other fuckers anymore? Like they've been judging you.
Or he might have said or he could have said it just to calm the other motherfuckers down. You know, he was diplomatic. He was like, they think she's sinning. I'm telling them, don't kill her right now. Right. Think about this in real life. Yeah, this is a real life. These guys are like, we want to fucking kill this bitch right now because we hate her actions. And she's a sinner. And he was like, okay, I don't think she deserves to die, motherfuckers. How am I going to be smart about this? Those without sin, go and sin no more. And then in order to make her get off the hook, it could have just been this simple. He was like, hey, as well as you, go and sin no more. Mm-hmm. He was just an ultimate diffuser. I don't know.
That's actually, that could be true.
He just diffuses the conflict in that situation. But that's like interesting shit. I apply all that shit still. I don't adhere to the dogma, but I apply the principles.
Yeah. I think Jesus had some pretty good principles.
Oh, fuck yeah. But turning water into wine is so badass. Dude, that's my kind of guy.
He turned water into wine. He hung out with hookers.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, I read this book about...
He turned water into wine. He hung out with hookers.
I read this book about drugs in ancient religion. It's called The Immortality Key. And they basically, all these archaeologists tested the different glasses and stuff from like ancient religion, the Catholics, and even before. They found all these psychedelics and hallucinogens in the chemicals that were in the wine. So wine wasn't like booze as much as it was like infused with all these like psychedelics.
That makes sense.
So the wine that they were drinking was like, that's why they saw some miracles, or not even in Jesus's day, but like even back before that. Like
I think it stems into mythology too.
Yeah, it was super in mythology.
Have you heard about like the anointing oil recipe in the Old Testament? Dude, this is fucking cool. You can read about it. Like widespread historians and scholars now agree that there has been a mistranslation all these years. And it was in the recipe for the anointing oil that God, I think, gave to Moses. Yeah. Forgive me if I'm wrong. But it called for 2 ounces of calamus oil. And calamus is like this marsh plant with like sub-zero psychoactive properties, or there's literally there's like nothing really beneficial to a human being from the calamus plant.
Right.
Like and they started looking deeper into this, like, and they go back to the origin of calamus, and it's cannabism, Kanahbosom, cannabism, and it directly translates to the fragrant reed.
So it's just a reed that has a smell.
Cannabis, cannabism,
The
the fragrant reed. Like, you can read all about it. I'm probably giving a horrible thing, but like the whole idea is like, and this ties into like shamanistic practices in that same exact era. And we think that these holy men were any different. No, they would like get in their tents and burn this holy oil and get high and praise God.
Yeah.
Like the God that they were seeking, which nobody really had any proof of, but like, you know what I mean? Like,
well, and like, so they were, I mean, they talked about that with the immortality key. Like when you take mushrooms, like how many times have you taken mushrooms and seen some sort of divine like situation or some sort of like
life-changing. I had a butterfly land on my face one time and I saw an angel.
There's so many different situations in different degrees where it feels divine. It feels spiritual.
Oh my God.
And to think, and then to realize, oh yeah, that's what they did with sacrament. They drank this wine, this substance that brought them to this higher place and gave them a religious experience.
Do not be drunk with wine, but be filled with the Spirit. I think a lot about it. If you look at old religious artwork, there are mushrooms in every single work. Clusters of mushrooms. I actually think that, like, I don't know, I didn't expect it to really go down this avenue, and we don't have to necessarily abuse it, but I think that John, when John wrote the Book of Revelations, I think that he was eating psychedelics.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And I'm sure there's millions of people that agree with me, and there's probably millions of people that hate me for saying that, but
I think so.
But that's what I feel like, because when I read it and what I've seen
some pretty crazy shit on psychedelics.
It goes hand in hand, like creatures with multiple faces, like all the shit. And here's where I love it though. It doesn't discredit shit for me. That's what keeps me wondering. That's what makes it interesting and fun.
Yeah.
Who fucking knows?
Well, and one of the things that I guess I feel about reading some stories about something that somebody saw, right? I've taken psychedelics a bunch of times and seen some crazy shit and being like, dude, if I were to write this down, like that group of stories would be just like up in line with the shit that is in Revelation.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I saw this thing, then I saw this thing.
It's exact.
This would be like this, or this is that. And yeah, I do agree. Like he was just describing shit he saw, but he was probably most likely tripping balls.
And people back then didn't probably question, oh, are you tripping? Like there wasn't like these stigmas, and
right.
I don't think there was. I don't know. I imagine that it was a little bit different than our immediate climate. Like where like there's been so many times like I've been tempted to like walk into the church across the street from my house and just like walk up straight to the mic and be like, you guys want to know what I saw last night? Like, I don't know, like, or like, here's the deeper one. Some of my friends, like the devout fucking Christians, amazing people, heavy-hearted,
right?
Which breaks my heart, like a heaviness that I'm still like processing out.
Sure.
But I really want them to try one trip.
Dude.
Just one trip.
Same.
Please. Come on, man. Like if the scriptures say the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof.
Yeah.
And even Paul said that all things are are permissible. Not all things are beneficial.
Right.
So, oh my God, make a little whoopsie doozy. What do you think? Even the same fucking Bible says that if Christ's death on the cross, if our works brought us salvation, then his death on the cross would be in vain.
Right.
All these things basically suggest to a religious man, you're free. You don't need to worry. And maybe like it hurts me because these people want an encounter with God, and I spent the first half of my life through prayer and meditation on my hands and knees in my room for hours a day. Like I literally made a schedule where I was like, you know, much like Russell Brand's doing right now. He's like, he's in it. I feel what he's feeling because I've been there, and I'm happy for his journey. I don't know what he's going to discover, but
yeah, I've been there too.
Yeah,
dude, and that's the thing is like, you're right. I would want to tell, or I wish that some of my religious friends would open their mind to that because it could enhance their spirituality. Like I've told my mom and I've told my sister, I was like, I've seen God, and I'm like the thing that I was searching for my entire childhood that I never experienced, I've actually seen now. It's way different than the things I was taught, but like a lot of Christians that are still way in the throes of like the legalism and the orthodoxy of religion, they still have never experienced this like a really spiritual in your face experience. And maybe they have, but maybe they haven't. But like I know a lot that hasn't. I've talked to some. They're like, yeah, I've never. And then I like, where'd that go from? There it was.
She died?
Yeah.
All right. I don't even remember where we were. You were talking about
I was talking about something
psychedelics in the Bible or something.
Yeah. Man.
And the camera couldn't handle it. It was like, oh baby, we got this. Yeah. People can't handle this. Then it cut off, and now we're like, I don't remember.
Yeah. Dude, you should read that book. It's called The Immortality Key.
Oh yeah.
And it is all about the history of psychedelics in religion and democracy. And it talks about like the Mount like Ulysses or whatever. And basically it's this famous mount that all the like philosophers would go up to, and they would take these psychedelics and they would see their lives in a different perspective because they saw their death, saw like the universe and whatever, and they would come down different men, and then they would give this profound wisdom, and that's how they like came up with democracy, and then eventually they would use it in religion. It's wild, and it's not like speculative per se. I mean, there's a little speculation, but it does like talk like he was an archaeologist, and they're like, we found these chemicals, these psychedelic compounds in these glasses that were used in these religious things in these cities. You're like, holy shit. Pretty wild.
I love it though. Like, yeah, like I just want like the things like that I've seen and experienced, even just felt and thought with just weed.
Yeah.
Just smoking a joint and visiting the same song or reading the same book or going on the same walk. And it kind of breaks my heart as a feeler to have some people that I just love, and I know how much they love the nectar of life and how they want. It's like, oh, God made this world, and I just love him, and I just want to be close to God. And I'm like, eat some of this fungi, dude.
Yeah.
Come on. Like, get some of that ancient wisdom for a minute.
It is interesting.
It's not for everyone, though, and I don't think it's like something I can do all the time.
But it is interesting how, like, if God made all the things and you want to eat the chicken, you want to eat the red pepper, why would you want to eat the mushroom?
Yeah, you think it's okay to just chop the chicken's head off and rip its guts out and put its breast on a frying pan? and then devour it, but you won't eat like a little organic little mushroom that turns blue and makes you look at yourself. Dude, there's the documentary Fantastic Fungi. Have you seen it?
I've heard of it.
Josh, please watch it.
Okay.
Dude, please. Like, even tonight, it is so...
Netflix?
Last I checked, yes.
I'll actually write it down. I'll watch
it
it
is
tonight.
so good. There is this dude, he has this story. I'll just touch on it quick. Like, he had, like, horrible fears and all these, like, things bogging him down. And then he went out, he took, like, a bunch of grams and climbed up on this tree during a storm and had, like, this whole full-on hallucination, but, like, he saw himself grow as a tree.
Yeah.
And like the branch like reached out and is like and in the vision, him and his child were walking by and his child plucked the branch that was him and took it. And then he like was taken to a cliff and he was standing next to his buddy who, when he was like 8 years old or something, his friend like fell off this cliff and died. But in this vision, he fell right after his friend. But when his friend hit the ground and died, he kept falling. And he just kept falling and disappearing into the point where it was complete blackness and he was absolutely nothing. And it basically like healed his entire condition. The whole trip was like a mind fuck.
Yeah.
But like when he's redescribing it, I just did a total botch job. But like when he tells like everything that he experienced was like so profound and like deeply curated to his childhood trauma and things that could allow him to just like break free and live how he should be.
Sure.
Like more than a psychologist could probably ever address.
Yeah.
Like any kind of therapy.
I've heard that. Like I've heard stories from people that have done ayahuasca that they've done therapy for like 20 years and they've done more progress in one trip with ayahuasca than they've done in 20 years of therapy. And they like talk about how like, dude, the plants teach, they know better. They do. They have ancient wisdom that's connected to whether it's source or God or, you know. Oh yeah, we're just going.
Dude. My band member, I'm not gonna say any names, but I went to Peru a year ago.
Yeah.
Did ayahuasca, full-on ceremony, shaman.
I want to do it.
And when he came back, he was no longer an alcoholic.
Oh shit.
We drank every night together. Well, for the entire summer leading up to it, you know. He got me deeper into tequila than I've ever been.
Yeah.
Showed me all the goods. That was just our thing. Yeah. Music, tequila. He comes back. He's like, dude, I just have zero desire to drink anymore.
Yeah, that would be good for me.
You know, like just totally like, and even still to this day, he'll only have just like a little bit. I've noticed like as he's back in like. But it took him months to deal with the trip.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm ready for that kind of shit.
Dude, I wanted to go in 2020 and then COVID happened and stuff, but I do want to try it.
I'm scared.
I mean, I'm scared too.
But going back to the whole fear thing.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I've tried the psychs and that's why I've done that. I did acid at Tree for it and it changed my life.
That's
dude.
how I feel about psychedelics is like, it is scary. You're
easy.
Jumping into a scary thing and you're like, okay, let's see what happens. Like, fuck, I don't know what's going to happen. That's like the risk.
It's a hard thing to describe.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I try to tell my friends, like, I'll take it and then like there's a climb. Taking mushrooms or acid is like looking at a giant mountain and going, yes, I'm going to scale you right now.
Mm-hmm.
And this is going to beat the shit out of me.
Right now.
And then you do it and it hits and you're scaling. And so for me, every time, like the first 45 minutes to an hour of the come on is not easy. And I don't think if I could tell anybody, like, I'd be like, oh, it's not for the faint of heart. It's like, you have to be ready to like, be like, oh my God.
What is literally happening? Like a hold on tight. You're like,
I don't know how to describe it. You're just like, everything is happening.
Dude, left is right, up is down, like in is out.
Everything's inverted.
You're just like, oh shit, what is happening?
And then you get to the summit and you're like, there's always a moment where you get to the summit and you're like, I have gotten past the fucking bullshit. Like my ego has now been peeled off.
Yeah.
And now I'm living in the spirit as I should be. Now I can read people's minds. I can talk to them with my mind. Any girl, like any love interest or every time I'm ever on it, like all the things on everything just becomes known.
Yeah.
I love it for that. Like if you can climb through endure that fucking
it's a wild ride to get there.
Yeah. Well, it's sort of like imagine like if you strap onto a rocket and they're like, all right, we're shooting you out to Mars. That's a wild ride to get there.
But then you get there, you're like, whoa.
Oh, what a perspective swap.
Yeah.
I think everyone needs to try it once. One time.
At least. Dude, I'm a firm believer in it. I really am.
I am too.
I love the mushrooms. I love psychedelics. I think you even if there wasn't anything spiritual about it, it shows you that like what you see that is real can be readjusted just by a chemical. So it makes you question a lot of things. It's like, dude, it makes you think about life in a different way because you're like, oh, is my entire experience just a certain chemical that's released? When I'm happy, for example, there's just chemicals that tell me I'm happy. When I'm sad, there's chemicals that say I'm sad. When I take acid, there's chemicals that say left is right and up is down. Like everything can be changed with just a switch of a chemical.
It makes you appreciate like the origin state too. Yeah. Like you come back, it all melts away. You have new perspective and you're like, this is what I am. Oh, this is actually quite wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
But it's good to disrupt the pattern.
I think so.
Especially for people that are in a spiritual pursuit, ingrained in some kind of a absolute sort of belief system. Mm-hmm. I think it's even more important. But that's the hardest people to get to do it.
Yeah, you're like, dude, if you could just do this, you would
soften your heart.
You would see something that's way different than what you've always believed.
And I don't do them very much ever anymore. I actually can't. There was a season where I was microdosing quite a bit and doing them a lot and then going on trips. And I can't anymore. I do like mushrooms 3 to 6 times a year. Yeah. I just don't like necessarily feel like it needs to happen. That season that I was in was like so augmenting and opening and kind of like split me in half that I'm like, dude, no, there's a lot of work to be done right here, right now. But then every single time I do them, I'm like, oh God, that was amazing.
Yeah. I think it is good to do them just like a little bit here and there.
It's kind of like,
I don't really trip more than probably that 6 times a year, 5 times.
Yeah, exactly.
But I do mushrooms quite a bit, but it's normally just like microdosing. And
do you do it weekly, would you say? Or
I go through phases.
Kind of go through like seasons.
Yeah, like I just put a bunch of like capsules together, so I'll probably do a lot more, like at least once or twice a week now. But then I'll go through a couple months where I don't do them at all.
Yep, I've had a bucket of powder.
But if I go to like camping, anything in nature, I bring mushrooms. Like it's like from the earth. I want to enjoy nature. I want to.
And you can experience people on such a beautiful level.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, it's just like good to like rework your brain chemistry for a little while.
Yeah.
And like, for me, I don't feel as guilty afterwards. Like there's like I carry like this weird, am I doing something wrong kind of vibe. I hate it, dude. I envy people that don't have that.
Yeah.
But it's in me. It's like part of what I deal with.
Yeah.
Like I'm getting better at recognizing that feeling and kind of scoffing, like letting it roll off.
Mm.
But that's a fucked feeling to have.
I've always had this one since, I guess, childhood or high school. I don't feel guilty so much anymore, but there's still a thing that happens when I cross a boundary where I'm like, am I gonna get in trouble? And it's more of like if I'm in a restaurant and there's like a blocked off area, I'm like, are we allowed to go over here? Like I'm like, dude, you're a grown adult. Just go do what you want.
Just walk over there real fast.
But I constantly get this, or like if I'm going down a road and I see like a cone, or like, oh, I don't know if I'm allowed to go there. And I have this feeling, I'm like, oh, I'm not sure if I might get in trouble. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
I know.
It's very strange.
I see that sometimes when I go camping with friends. Like they're like worried about the camp host a lot. Like, oh, do we have too many tents out here? Like they're gonna come, they're gonna be like, sorry, there's 70 tents. I'll be like, how much money do I owe you?
There's 70 tents.
Whoops. A lot of folk came out this weekend.
Yeah. You're like, sometimes we get onto water somewhere and then you're like, a feeling, you're like, wait, are we allowed to be on here? I'm like, dude, why do you, like, if you weren't, somebody would say something and it'd be fine.
Exactly.
And also, of course you are. You're on the middle of nowhere.
And if they did it and you saw them doing it, are you gonna try to like stop them, or just skinny dipping is a cool example.
Mm-hmm.
If I like ran up on some fuckers skinny dipping, I'll be stoked for them.
You're like, hey,
I wouldn't be
put
like,
your pants on.
hey, what are you fucking guys doing out here? Like, no, dude. But the risk when you go skinny dipping is like, what if someone catches
what if
us?
someone sees us?
Yeah. They won't care.
Yeah, they're gonna be like,
They will love it, dude. Every time.
That is true. It's even like if you go into a store that's like run, or like it's like a movie theater. We've gone into movie theaters with like food in our jackets and shit. And I'll sometimes get that vibe where I'm like, what if we get in trouble? I'm like, who the fuck cares? The 16-year-old that's selling tickets?
She's gonna be like, sir, you can't carry those red vines in.
Yeah, like I'm like, dude, I'm fucking a grown ass man.
And he'll be like, nicely done, sweetie. Take them home for later. like,
they're not gonna be like, sir, what's in your jacket?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh yeah, but for some reason there's still this like back of mind thing from when I was a child. I'm like,
I'm that way with public smoking, like in an illegal state. But I kind of like the way it makes me feel. I like it. Like I'm like, let's just go stand in the middle of this parking lot. If we see anybody approach, you just like pinch it out. And then if they're like, what are you guys doing over here?
Drugs.
Oh,
Drugs.
bad things. You better not be here.
We were in Salt Lake and we like left the restaurant and went on, smoked on a pen, and I was like, damn, of all the cities. But then I was like, dude, I feel so bad right now. Like we just like, walk around back of the parking lot. Like,
yeah,
dude, what if somebody walks out right now?
Last time my band played down, and it was years ago, but we were down in Salt Lake, and like 20 minutes before the show, I was like newer to smoking, so none of my band members knew. It just was like my thing. Now that everyone, I don't care, but like then I cared, and I just didn't want anybody else to know, except for like my brother and stuff. But like, I kind of just like had the same feeling. Like took off like some back alley in Salt Lake and got wrecked before the set, which was awesome.
Yeah,
it was fun.
Dude, getting high and playing music is the best.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah,
I love it. Especially in the morning.
Yeah,
like you wake up, open the blinds, be awake for like 20 or 30 minutes tops, and then just roast.
No.
And then sit down with your guitar. And it's like your brain is like so just awake and so oh man.
That's funny. Dude, you do look like Jared Leto. That's funny.
Do I?
Yeah.
That's great. If only I.
Dude, I love that we're like, let's just film for an hour.
This has been a long one.
And then we're just like, hell yeah.
Has it been like 3?
I'm not really sure. I can't tell. What is it? Is this
9:23. Yeah, it's been like 4. We've been filming for like 4 hours.
Oh yeah, this one's like 3:30.
You want to wrap it? Or?
3. Yeah, we probably should.
How do we wrap it up?
I don't know. Tell the story of when you first your first girlfriend.
Yeah.
First crush.
My first crush?
Yeah.
I was like 7.
You remember when you were 7? That's dope.
Maybe I was 9.
Do you remember her name?
Danielle. She was a blonde.
Yeah.
Took my cowboy rope to Sunday school.
I hate when your crush takes your rope.
And I lassoed her. I didn't know what else to do, so I was like,
Were you riding a stick horse?
like she was some steer. I was like, I wish I had one. And I like got her. And
Girls
like,
are meant to be lassoed.
I should try that these days, dude.
I know, dude. You're like, hey, you get back here.
Come on now. Here, doggy. So I'm gonna brand you. What about you?
Yeah, I don't know if I can't remember any crush when I was like below the double digits. Oh shit. When I was in high school, I think the first girl I was into was this girl, Marky James. She's a lesbian now.
I love lesbians.
Me too.
Oh my god, dude, I'm so drawn to them.
Yeah. I like them when they're bisexual.
That would make sense.
Like, I would want them to still be into me.
Of course.
Like, you don't want a lesbian that doesn't like a little dick, you know?
I've always kind of thought maybe like that.
I want them to like a little dick because that's what I have.
Dude.
Yeah. No, yeah, I think that was the first like crush that I can remember and shit. Like when we were like 15, we worked at Dunkin' Donuts. I kissed her and then I realized the camera was on. I was like, oh my God, is here on camera. But I remember just being so nervous, just like talking to her and she's like really close. I was like, I was gonna kiss her and I was like, don't know if she wants to. But
it's amazing.
Yeah.
I think that one crapped out again. No, just the screen.
Oh no, it's still there. I think it's just this one.
Oh, hey baby.
All right, let's wrap this up.
Nobodies.